Hello, everyone. It's William here. How are you doing? um, I hope you're all doing well. It's been a, a day for me. Um, my anxiety's up a little bit, but I hope you are out there doing well. I have a lot of people commenting on my posts on Facebook, sending me good energy. So that has definitely helped. So thank you all so much. I really, really appreciate that. Susie's with us. Michelle is here. Hello, Michelle. Kimberly is here. Hello, Kimberly. I hope you're all doing well out there. It is a day. There's a lot of stuff happening all over, and I think that's part of what's gotten me this way, right? Although that's pretty normal for me. Donna is here. Hello, Donna. Norma is here. Hello, Norma. Thank you all for joining in. If you're out there, please say hi. Whether you're tuning in on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram, we're streaming in all those places, and we appreciate you watching. We're going to have some new Czech glass today. We just got a shipment in. And so we have a few pieces of that we're going to show you. And then we have some mixed lots, maybe, if we get everything together. It's been a slower day. Boy, you can tell I've not been talking to many people. Once I start talking and my voice starts to rumble. Yeah, Andrew and I have been hanging out, working on some things here at the house. We tried to take a little bit of downtime today, which I think is what may have sparked some of my anxiety, because every time I try and take a little bit of downtime, I feel guilty for not working harder and longer and more. And then I get myself into that spiral. I'm sure a lot of you know what I'm talking about. I know a lot of you know what I'm talking about. Donna says, I got my package this afternoon. Love everything. Oh, good. I'm glad everything came. Everything arrived okay. Yeah, y'all are ordering some nice stuff. And I love putting the packages together because I get to see things. And but the thing is I often pack things up in stages, so I don't usually see all of your stuff at once. Like I see this pretty bunch and then I pack it away, and then I see this pretty bunch and then I pack it away. And it's been really cool to see when people have taken pictures of what they've received and post them in the Design Challenges group or on their timelines and tag us, because we get to see everything in a new way. You know, you all have, y'all are very talented, and you all have different ways of seeing things than we do too. And when we see you arrange the things that you've got and post about them and take beautiful pictures of some of them, it's really so much fun. It's so much fun for us, and it warms our hearts to know that we are doing something that means something. A lot of people can say that beads are beads, and in the grand scheme of things they don't mean a lot, but we beg to differ. They are a way to bring people together. They are one of the oldest markers of civilization, as Andrew talks about. Before money, before a lot of things, there were beads. And to be a part of that tradition, and to know that these tiny little things, glass beads, gemstone beads, these tiny little things still matter and still make a difference, and still allow people to show their individuality and just display who they are in different ways is amazing to us, and it's beautiful to us, and that we can be a part of that, and that you enjoy the things that we bring in and that we have, and that you trust us. Sorry, I had an eyelash. You trust us to provide you with these things, means a lot to us. So thank you for your support. Thank you for your trust, and thank you for your friendship. It's still, and I think that's sometimes what my anxiety gets to be about, is that I worry about business a lot. I worry about how things are going to be. That's just the nature of me. And it's very humbling, and sometimes I can't believe that there are so many people out there who are willing to trust in us and that love the things that we do. Um, you know, uh, I we didn't grow up with a lot, neither one of us, um, and to think that there are people all over the world that look to us for things that make them happy is kind of is wild in my mind. So thank you all again for that. Michelle says we've been changing our bedroom and living room. We bought a new bed frame, set up my shelf, bought 2 dressers for our son. Nice. I know you were waiting for your bed the last time. I think the last time. So I'm glad that it arrived and you got everything going. Michelle says we were still thinking of buying a new lamp and 2 more dressers for the bedroom. Nice. Donna said, I just put a pic on the Design Challenge page. Thank you. Yeah, if you're not in the Design Challenges group on Facebook, please join Allegory Gallery Design Challenges group on Facebook. Norma says, sometimes it's a surprise to me when I get a package and see how my choices play with each other. Right? That's the thing. Like, I know that some of you do kind of plan out your purchases, but I also know that probably a majority of you buy things that you like, right? And it is so interesting to me whenever you do take pictures and show them to us once you've received them all. Because like I said, I pack them up in batches. So especially for the regulars, for all of our regulars out there, things get packed up in batches. So I'll do a little bit at a time, here and there, here and there, here and there, until I get the package together. And I don't see everything laid out. And it's amazing, I think, how maybe it's just individual tastes. Like y'all have individual tastes, and when you purchase things, even when you're just purchasing things that you just like, you're not purchasing them to go together necessarily. It's amazing how well they work out together. You are all artists out there, and you have an artistic eye for things, and I think that comes through in a lot of your choices and the things that you pick out. And whether you realize it or not subconsciously, I think you're all doing a great job because I see these pictures and I'm like, wow, that's very inspiring. Like there's a lot of inspiring palettes that come out of these photos, I think, and there's a lot of things that could go together very easily and very well. Suzanne says, hello, everyone. Hope you're feeling better, William. We are decluttering in partnership with our painting. Nice. Decluttering is nice, right? I'm feeling a little better. I went on a little tiny walk. I took the cats out a little bit. Then I had to run to the grocery store real quick to pick up some cat food and some groceries for us. I know our friend Susie offered, but I wanted to get out of the house a little bit. And then I rushed back here to get ready. So I have been trying to clear my brain out. And talking with people on Facebook really helped too. So thank you. Hello, Andrew.
Howdy.
Andrew joined the chat. You're looking for scissors.
Correct.
I think the black ones were down there somewhere too.
I think they're
if those aren't sharpened. Oh, are they now? Okay, good. Suzanne says we had red beans and rice for dinner. Well, that sounds delicious. We finally had some Mexican-ish. We made our own Mexican last night. Andrew did a great job. He made enchiladas. I helped, but that means I mostly cut up stuff.
He's like, it's shaking bacon. I helped.
I know, that's what I felt like. But yeah, so I had made some tacos the other night, and we used some fake chorizo with some mushrooms and peppers and lots of spices and onions. And I made that, and refried beans, vegetarian refried beans. And I actually really liked it. I don't always like my own food sometimes or think it's that great, but I thought those were pretty good. And Andrew liked them too. So we took the leftovers from that, and Andrew cooked up some sweet potatoes and then added some extra Andrewness to it all. I don't know what all went in there. but he did a good job, and we put them in tortillas and rolled them up and put them in a pan, and he coated them with some sauce and some cheese and some other stuff, and we threw it in the oven, and we had enchiladas, and they were delicious, and I wanted to eat them today, but I don't know if there's any left, for one thing, and we got to make more tonight or do something tonight, so I wanted to save them in case they were part of dinner for tonight.
Well, we'll see.
I also picked up a salad, since we had our salads at the grocery store, we get the bags Asian salads because they have a really good sesame dressing. It's very yummy, and they have little crunchy wonton things in there, and some almonds and stuff that they put in. So we get those, but they sell them 3 for a certain price. They're like 3 for $10, and there's 2 of us, and we always have 1 bag left over. So I went and picked up 1 today, because I realized I think you still get Gesundheit. You still get the same deal even if you buy 1. So I grabbed that, and we picked up some sauce and some salsa, and I picked up a few extra peppers and some cheese to try to maybe redo, because I think we still have Gesundheit. We still have some of the filling, yeah. And Andrew made more sweet potatoes, so we have extra sweet potatoes. If nothing else, we'll have sweet potato enchiladas. Yeah, the sweet potatoes are really good. So that's what we had, and it was delicious. And I'm looking for a repeat tonight, possibly with salad. Maybe. We'll see what happens. It does take a while to make them, so.
It's not too bad now that all the innards are.
Yeah, because really just putting it in the oven, everything's already cooked. You just need to warm it up in the oven and congeal it all together.
There is the sauce that I make does take a little bit of time, because I've learned about how to brown rice and then grind it into a powder.
I was wondering what you were doing. I didn't ask you, but he browned rice in a pan, in a saute pan.
Rice.
Huh?
Uncooked
rice in a saute pan, and then he ground it up in the blender.
So then it acts as the thickener for the sauce, so it doesn't get too
The sauce was thick.
And then the other thing is that it gives it this slight nutty flavor that you're like, what is that?
The sauce was thicker. I was like, how do you get the tomato sauce from the jar
I don't like
to do that?
To be runny.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like, if I have a taco or stuff and it's like dripping all over my arms and stuff, I feel unclean.
Unclean. Yes. It's hard to eat when they're like that.
So I like to have it be more
clean.
Fork ready.
Fork ready. It was, because it was really good. Let's see. Donna says, Susan, that sounds yummy. Marianne is here.
I saw your picture today. That looked nice.
Yeah, it says, my rabbit fetish was well rewarded in this shipment. Yes, you did. You got your rabbits. Hello. Donna says, yeah, the Pisces fish pendant, I'm going to use the shell beads I bought from Alive for a necklace, and I have fish for matching earrings. Nice.
Good.
Norma says, hi, Marianne. Enjoyed seeing your shipment and your altar. Marianne says, need rabbits all the time, but very appropriate for spring. Yes, it is. Harry's here. Hello, Harry. Thanks for joining us. It's good to see you here. I hope all is going well for you. We got a package today from Harry. So sometime this week, we're going to do it. Tomorrow?
Wait. Yes.
Maybe tomorrow. Sometime this week, we'll do a Harry show.
Because we also got our gemstone shipment in today.
We got another gemstone shipment.
So we want to promote that. But also, I have a bunch of meetings this week, so I'm trying to figure out what day.
What is the logistics? Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Thursday, I have a meeting in the evening, so maybe that can be Harry's day.
Yeah,
we don't need both of us for that one.
No, we'll post. I'll try and be better about posting a thing today. We just got a bunch of shipments today, and we weren't sure what we were going to do first. We had to work that out, so that's why I didn't put up a banner.
We were supposed to get shipments last week, but for some reason,
the mail was very delayed. Yeah, it all came all at once today. So we kind of
So we even had a schedule, and we had it all
We
laid
had it planned
out,
out last week.
and
Didn't work.
then none of the stuff came when it was
Yeah.
supposed to come.
No. So we didn't plan this week as much, and it all came today. So now we've got to create the plan tonight.
So tonight we'll do some Czech glass.
Yeah, we've got Czech glass and probably some mixed lots.
We'll see.
We'll
People
see.
seem to like the mixed
Yeah.
lots, so I thought it'd be good maybe to have a few more, especially if there's something folks are looking for.
Yep. Let us know in the comments if there is.
Also, we sold out of the Day at the Beach kits.
Mystery box.
And I'm thinking about offering another run for people who didn't get one.
Is there anyone out there who wanted one that missed out?
Because if there are people who wanted one but didn't get one, I was putting stuff together today, and I have enough to maybe do a couple more or change it up.
Change it up a little bit. Because they're never ever the same. They're not kits, they're mystery boxes.
Yeah, they're kind of randomy. But did you already get claims?
That was something somebody claimed from a Facebook page post.
Oh.
Yeah. Huh. Yep, we were talking about that today. Thank you. Let's see here.
I thought somebody's already claiming stuff for tonight. I didn't even start yet.
Didn't even start yet. Marianne says, it was funny though. Most of the things I opened first were dark browns and blues. See, people do buy the things they like, right? Whether we realize it or not all the time. Sandra's here. Hello, Sandra. Sandra says, interested, not sure. Interested in the box. Angela says, I want one. This makes me happy.
Okay. Let me sit down and
see what you've got.
And how many more I can make.
Yeah.
Because I made a bunch, and then I was like, well, maybe. And then, so then I kind of edited it down a little bit.
Yeah.
And changed stuff around. So that's good to know.
Yeah.
So I'll have maybe some more Day at the Beach stuff.
If you would like a Day at the Beach box, let's do it this way. If you'd like a Day at the Beach box, send us an email at info@allegorygallery.com saying, I want one. So this means you want one. This means you definitely want it. And then we'll see if what we can make.
There's 75 plus shipping.
Yeah, there's 75 plus shipping in the U.S. That shipping.
There's a lot in the box.
Yeah, it's going to be well worth more than $75. It always is. It's usually double is what we try for at least.
And there's always extra.
Yeah. So it'll be 75 plus shipping. They're shipped in small priority boxes, which I think is $9 shipping or something now.
If you live somewhere like overseas, or if you live not in the U.S., then maybe don't get it.
Yeah, right.
Because they're heavy.
Yeah. Well, we'll probably post them again in our online store or invoice from there, and we can't ship. We put in shipping for Canada this time because some Canadians said they wanted the last one. We didn't do that, so we put one in this time. But it's like $39 US to ship this box.
It's expensive.
So you have to check on that for yourself if you want to, but the option is there. But it is a $75 US box plus the shipping, and they're shipped in small priority boxes. They're packed full.
In theory, we could probably take it apart if there's like a cheaper.
There might be a slightly cheaper way to go to Canada, and if there is, we'll look for it for you.
If we have what's the equivalent of a drug mule? A package mule?
I don't think right now. Yeah, I don't think right now anyone's going to be risking that.
You just have to tape it to your body. Like the old time stories.
Right.
One of our friends, I'm not going to say who, but you probably maybe have heard this story. But when she was a young girl, her parents sent her to Europe to buy beads for them to sell. And so this is before like Venmo. And so way before Venmo. And so they took all the money and they taped it to her body. And they were like, here you go. You're like 16.
Yeah.
Go meet some random stranger dudes in their creepy house.
Hey, Kim. Hello, Kim. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, that's
So if anyone wants to do that for packages,
right.
we can promise we can pay you in beads.
Pay you in beads. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So what's going on for everybody? How was your weekend? We had a good time on the Creative Make-Along on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Boy.
If I can remove this thing, would you be sad?
Why are you removing it?
Because I always catch my areas.
You can't remove it. It just takes a torque wrench.
I know, but I get nervous when it catches, and then I feel compromised.
Yeah, I guess I don't really put my headphones there. It's for headphones.
You have a headphone.
I know, but I have 2 pairs too.
Wow.
But it's all right. Anyway, we had a good time in the Creative Make-Along. And we had a lot of people join. Every time we do it, it seems to get bigger and bigger, which is great. I mean, we've only had 2 and it's gotten bigger, so that holds true. And we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of good discussions. The discussions tended out to talking about kind of business, bead business, and doing shows and things that are required for shows, and kind of how you kind of do that, and things that happen in your town, that the rules and regulations. So we talked a lot about that kind of stuff. We talked about design and our beads, and our stashes, and how everyone always knows they have enough, but they got to keep getting more, right? It's just the way it is. Marion says, I loved your bracelet, William. Thank you so much. I should have brought it here, but I left it at the store. I finished it up at the store and I left it there. Anna says, I missed out on the make-along. My laptop is dying. Oh, no. That's not good. Amanda's here. Hello, Amanda. Yeah, is it fixable, your laptop?
Is it die?
Or, yeah, die.
But is it like, it will be risen?
Yeah, can you like reformat and wipe it out and start over? Or do you have to really replace it?
No, I didn't see Inch Rotor.
No. Anne, are you out there? She must have been busy. Kimberly says, I'm super excited for next month. Yeah, next month will be awesome. Creative Make-Along. It's on the 18th, I think. April 18th or 19th. 18th, I think.
I don't think I'll be there.
You're supposed to be.
Maybe.
You're supposed to be. I know you keep getting new stuff happening.
Mm-hmm.
All these new things.
Basically, May, I'm going to be gone forever.
I saw that.
Oh, not really. They're just back to back. So, like, the end of April, beginning of May, it's going to be kind of tight. Because I'm going to Penland, and then I have a week off, and then I'm going to Sawtooth. So if you want to take the class at Sawtooth, there's only a few spots left.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to do that, better jump on it, because Sarah, who organizes the classes at Sawtooth for the metals department, she said I'll probably sell out. So
okay, so if you want to do the Sawtooth class, go to the Sawtooth website and go sign up now.
And it's cheaper than the Luminaries one. I don't know how or why.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I don't know if it's the same amount of time. Maybe it's a little less, because Friday night, it's only Friday night, so people who are local can work. And then Friday night, and then like the next day after that, a couple days after that, then I'm going to Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to figure that out.
Yeah, because we got to see if I'm going to Sawtooth with you or not.
I know. I'd prefer it, because sometimes it's easier when there's another person.
Yeah, I'd like to go down if I can, but we'll see.
And then if we can find somebody to watch the shop.
Yeah. Got a lot to plan out.
Mm-hmm.
Anna says the laptop is 12 years old.
Oh.
It's time.
Maybe you can pray on it.
It's time. That's
it's
the
like
time. Kimberly says the 18th. Yeah, I thought it was the 18th. April 18th. Amanda asks, is the April make-along according to the book, or is that something different? That's a book club, and that's this Saturday. So the book club meeting is this Saturday from 6 to 8, I believe. 6 to 8 p.m. And that is to get together and talk about the book, which is The Stone Witch of Florence, and make something inspired by the book. So that's this Saturday.
I'm gonna try to make William listen to at least some of it.
Yeah, I gotta get on that. I keep talking about it, but I haven't gotten on that yet. Let's see here. Marianne says, inspired by reading is this Saturday. Yes, it is. Hello, Mary Jane. It's been a while. Hello. Thank you for joining us. Hope all is going well. Seems like it I got the email from you, so I'm glad things are going well.
Good.
Yeah. We check in on our people when we don't hear from people for a while.
Mm-hmm.
At least we try to, unless we know somebody who has heard from them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it sometimes concerns us when we don't hear from someone for a while.
Well, if they said that they got like the tooth problem or whatever problem,
Yeah.
then I think it's one of those things where we've lost so many people at this point, being in business for 13 years, that if you don't hear from somebody, then it's time to check.
Yep. And Kimberly says, I'm hoping it gets more drama and less descriptive, the book.
Huh?
More drama and less descriptive.
Oh, well, I like that. It gets more fast-paced at the end. Because you're like, what? Not to spoiler it.
Marianne says, I just have to finish the book and find the bloodstone I want to use. Kimberly says, I want my books to have more story drama. Mary Jane says, yes, been so busy, but getting back to normal. Good.
Well, nice.
Yeah. Amanda says, I'm fourth in line at the library, so probably won't get it in time. Darn, it looks cool.
Just make something inspired by the cover.
There you go, right?
We've had that before, but one of our members of the book club, she was a teacher, and she was like always double stuffed with activities for the school and her kids and everything. And she's like, I didn't read the book this month, but I made this inspired by the cover.
There you go.
And
that works too. That's part of the book, right? They put that cover on it for a reason.
She read the synopsis.
There you go.
She also didn't mind that there were spoilers. She's like, I'm not going to remember.
Yep. Norma says, I just started reading the book today. Hope I can finish it by Saturday. If not, that's okay. Just make something inspired by what you got to, because I don't know if I will finish it. We're going to try and listen to it.
And some people, they don't like the selection.
Right.
And you don't have to make something that you like. You don't have to base your creation out of love.
Right. Make it out of hate.
No, not that.
Make it out of
quiet ambivalence. I don't know.
Slight disgust.
Our first book that we did for the book club years and years ago was called Paris to the Moon. And it was a Williams pick.
That was one of my picks.
And
we got a lot of feedback about that book.
And I concurred with it. Everybody's like, oh, well, at first everybody's like trying to be like polite about it because it was our first book club.
First book club book.
And so everybody's trying to be polite about it. And then slowly it revealed that a lot of people just happened to quit around the same point in the book, myself included, where I was like, I do not care about this person complaining about the trash on Thanksgiving. Oh, well, you're in another country. Eat some cheese. Be quiet. And so...
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like that.
No. And so...
But people still made some stuff.
Yeah, I made something based off of something that they talked about in the book, but...
Yeah.
Everybody made something.
Right.
But
you don't have to like the book to make something. No. You can make something about your dislike of something in the book, too, if you want to.
You know, there are some books that some of my favorite things I've ever made were from Inspired by Reading.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You made some really cool stuff.
Like,
it also gave you it gave you not only a topic that was different from what you would normally do, but it also gives you a solid deadline.
Mm-hmm. And permission to kind of
to step out. Marian says, I think it has drama. Amanda says, I was thinking of that, Andrew. I like the colors, and it's probably got every gemstone in it too.
You can also cheat if you need a gemstone recommendation from the book.
You can just cheat.
Amethyst, coral.
Right.
What
It's
else
in a
is
lot
in
of stuff.
there?
Kimberly says, I have about 6 hours left in the audio.
Yeah, it's a what is it, 11-hour book?
I don't know. I noticed like I said, on Kindle it was like 300 some page, 370 pages, 361 or something.
I breezed through it.
Yeah.
It went quick. And then I'm excited because we're going to that area. So I was like, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there.
Michelle says, so some of us can do that, just look at the covers. Yeah, why not?
Who said that?
Michelle.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can't listen to it, if you can't read it, read the synopsis.
You know, some people are not readers.
Yeah.
And that's fine. You know, as long as you like put 1% effort.
Right.
That's better than no percent. We had somebody who they never read the books ever, and they still came to book club, but they were hilarious. And usually they were the best source of information about local things
happening, right? Anna said, had to restart my phone. YouTube was glitching. Oh no. Amanda says, I love making things from books and stories. Angela says, I'm struggling with what to make. Please give more examples.
Oh my gosh, there's so many things. Like, not to ruin it, but like something with an amethyst.
There you go. Mary Jane says, I'm not a reader. I fall asleep. Kimberly says, yeah, it's like 11 and a half hours.
Mm-hmm. I breezed through it. I finished it in like 2 days. And I had to purposely stop because I was enjoying it so much.
That's good.
But I also listened for like 8 hours of time.
Yeah.
So I may re-listen just so that it's fresh in my mind, but I think I know what I'm going to make. Oh my gosh, there's like Italian ceramics as inspiration of that time period. I Googled that. While I was listening, I was like Googling stuff frantically. And then like, because there's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Figures. You know, I got really into that for a second. I still am into that. Manospiga, which is the little hand with the thumb.
Little hand with the thumb?
Like this.
Like this, he's saying.
So, and then I started researching them. I was like, dang, I need to like take those to my body when I go over to Italy. And then I had my mentor. I have my mentor tomorrow, but during the daytime. And then I was like, so, how are your flea markets?
Oh, boy.
And I was trying to get her, like, excited about being, like, what do they call that? Not a mole, but when they, like, have a plant somewhere and go and, like, do stuff, an operative.
An operative.
A bead operative.
A bead operative.
And she told me about this one bead store where the lady was like real mean. I was like, well, I'll skip this one.
Right, no, right? No.
I got enough problems. Let learn to have it done in Italian.
Yep. Dale is here. Hello, Dale. Good evening. Norma says, could make something inspired by the plague.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bones, reliquaries. Usually I post stuff in the group. If you're not in the group, maybe I'll do that this week. I'll post little things, little snippets.
Hello, Susan. Thank you for joining in.
Because I think that's fun. I also, you know, one of the cool things that we sometimes do is we get the authors involved. So
yeah,
sometimes we've made stuff and then the authors will look and then they'll like comment on stuff that people made. And
yeah, because I think there's a lot of book clubs, but I don't think there's a lot of book clubs where people make something. So I think authors are interested to see what comes out of it.
Like fan art.
Yeah.
So don't talk SHIT.
Yeah.
On your description. If you didn't like it, maybe talk about how you personally were not moved by the spirit of the book, but
Yeah.
if it's a post that I'm gonna send to the author, then don't hurt their feelings.
Yeah.
Because then they're gonna be like, "Well, if you and the horse you rode in on."
Hey, there's Anne. Hello, Anne.
We didn't see you at book or
at Creative Make Along.
And so we were like, "Well, is
What
everything
happened to
okay?
Anne?
You cuddling that plushie too hard?" That was dang cute.
That was dang cute. That was very cute. It was a good gift.
If you don't know what we're talking about, Anne got a plushie made of her cat.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Tiger.
Out of crochet. I think it was crochet, right? Was it crochet?
That's that amigurumi.
Amigurumi? I think so. That's what it looked like to me.
Who else is watching?
Who else is watching? We've got 22 some people watching.
We got all kinds of good Czech glass, y'all.
Yeah, we got good Czech glass tonight, so get ready.
And then we'll have some other stuff,
ready.
maybe.
Get ready.
Depends how hungry we are.
Angela says, so where are we posting?
Well, we meet on Zoom.
We meet on Zoom. So we hang out for 2 hours on Zoom and talk about the book, and it's like a creative make-along, but with a book instead. And then we post your finished projects in the Allegory Gallery Design Challenges group, like always.
And if you go, you can't complain about if there's spoilers if you didn't read the book.
Yes. If you come to the book club, we're going to be discussing the book, including possible spoilers if you didn't finish it. So just so you know, we don't not talk about it because somebody hasn't finished the book.
Mm-hmm. But sometimes we don't talk about the book.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a chat session, but we're going to try.
Just hang out and make stuff.
We go with the vibe. If people really want to talk about the book, we talk about the book. Mm-hmm. Or sometimes we end up just talking more about the projects that people are making and why, and that kind of is a way to talk about the book. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it just goes off on a tangent. So it's like we said.
I'm not a police officer. I'm not going to enforce nothing.
No, it goes how it goes.
Well, maybe. It depends how off of the topic we go.
Right. So how's everyone doing out there? What'd you have for dinner? How was your weekend? What'd we do this weekend? I went to the store, worked, and
you did shipping.
Did shipping, packing from the store, sorting.
I hate to say that you did shipping because you do shipping every day.
It's like every day. That's like just I sometimes don't even say it because it's just such a part of the day. Like it's just what I do that I don't say it all the time. But if I don't say it, you can guarantee that I still did it. Mm-hmm. It's just every like that's the thing.
Depending on how early we may go to the cottage and do a little bit. We'll see. I have some work I need to do there for tomorrow so that my mentor's proud of me.
Is it kiln work? I'm going to have to start up the kiln. Mm-hmm. Should have done that earlier. Oh well.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm not dead yet.
Not dead yet. Oh, what else? What else is happening? What else did y'all do? Let's have some audience participation.
I'll force you to talk.
I'm gonna make you talk. What'd you do this weekend? Anybody have any fun?
Start calling people randomly, like in the class.
I know.
And what did you do, Mary Catherine Gallagher?
I went to the store.
You said there were new people in.
We had a number of new people that either stumbled across the store kind of driving through, or
how you go and drive through there?
I don't know.
Randomly.
I know,
because we're on a main drag, but it's kind of like tucked away main drag. I don't know how to explain that. It's like on a bus route and stuff.
Yeah, there's a bus stop right at the end of our block.
Mm-hmm. You know, I started missing being a shop in Ligonier. Of course.
Of course.
But I was like, I don't miss like the higher rent and stuff. But I was looking through some old pictures, and then like I miss people who used to come into the store, and I know that they would only come here.
Yeah.
So we'll see if once we get the studio up and running, if people will come there.
Yeah.
And if they do come there, then they'll be nice. Otherwise, I'm gonna open a store in a garage.
I know, right? Angela watched demos and played with leather. Kimberly said, just worked and have a stomach bug, so I'm resting.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I had a bad headache
Like
yesterday.
diarrhea or puking?
Oh, you're getting into the TMI questions.
Is it?
I don't know. Marianne worked on Saturday and went to bed early, very early. Had a lazy day Sunday. Anne says, I'm reading a good book called I Hope This Finds You Well by Natalie Sue. I might have to look at that one.
I'm listening to some Harriet's Garden or something. It's one of them Libby books, so I never heard of it before. The peculiar Garden of Harriet Hunt.
That sounds fun.
It's interesting so far.
Susan says, Friday we went to see we went with some friends to see English musician Robin Hitchcock and his partner Emma Swift. Had a Zoom meeting, but other than that, it was quiet. That's adventurous for us.
We didn't see you on the Make Along either.
No, she was away.
Mm-hmm.
Amanda said, a busy day today, very busy day today. Glad to be home. Weather was bad, wet, snowy, cold, windy, cold. It was windy here today, and it's still windy. I can hear it out there.
That's me playing with the beads.
As you playing with the beads, but it was very windy. Suzanne says, I just read the Harriet Hunt book.
What do you think? I thought it's okay so far. I didn't know what I was reading. I just picked it because of the cover mostly.
Kimberly says, yes, but who wants to really know those details, Andrew?
I know. That's my problem, is that I ask questions.
Right.
Like at the store, I'm always like, people always tell me stuff that I don't want to know, but I always ask questions.
Yes, you do.
And then it's like, there's like this scene from this show about this like lady who's like an interrogator, and she asks the same question like over and over and over again. And then she's like concocts these stories about how they answered it. And I was like, I do the same exact thing.
Yes, you do.
And then what happened?
And then what happened? That's his thing. If you ever come to the store, Andrew will definitely ask you, and then what happened about 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 20 times.
Mm-hmm. It's like interrogator.
Yeah.
But in a gentle, loving way, not to use for like the Inquisition.
No. But people do always come up with a different answer usually, until they get to the point where it's like, that was it. That was it.
And then there's usually some more.
And then there's some more if you keep going. Julie joined us. Hello, Julie. Suzanne says, it was good, not the best book, but okay.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm enjoying it. Now, I just finished one, and it's called We Are Monsters or something like that. And that was like, I kind of felt like I should have liked it more.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think the audio narrator kind of does it.
Throws it off.
And they had like a child, and she's, granted it's a child's perspective, but they had like a child reading it. And sometimes when they do that, I don't like it. Like those full cast things, I have no interest in that. I'm like, this is not old-timey radio time. I don't need to be listening to 10 different voices. And like, I just finished one where they credited this dude for talking, and he literally talks for like 2 minutes. And the one woman, her name is the same exact size. She's not even listed as the main narrator, and she reads for like 20 hours. And this dude talks for 2 minutes, and his name is before hers. And I was like, what the heck? Just edit him out.
Right.
Just go have her smoke a pack of cigarettes and go do the voice of that dude.
Done. Michelle says, no dinner yet. It's too early. Kimberly says, if it's real interest, then nothing wrong with the questions. Yeah, Andrew's he's actually always really interested in what people are doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing that y'all may have noticed that's different from some of the people is we actually genuinely care about our customers and the people who are in our lives. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, at least we try to be, So there's some people that don't really care about their customers.
Like when we ask what you, we really want to know.
Mm-hmm.
Like we love hearing about what you actually did. It's not just because we could go right into the live sale.
I know, but then we wouldn't learn about English musician Robin Zwick and Emma Swift.
Right?
I don't. What's the name?
Oh no, it was. I think that was Emma Swift. Yeah, Emma Swift. Robin Hitchcock. Robin Hitchcock. Marianne says I finished reading The Botanist's Guide to Poisons and Parties. At least
How
I
is
think that
that?
was the title.
Because that comes up my mind.
Does it?
For is that one of the series about the poison and the botanist, and there's the murder mysteries, and they're always like poison people with plants. Oh, we
That sounds
watched
good.
this movie last night. It was only okay too. And
Oh, Craven.
And they had poison talking. And I was like, I know that. We have that in our house.
We've had that in our house in Florida.
We have that here.
We have that here.
Probably in this room.
Yeah, we watched Craven.
It was okay.
It was all right. Yeah.
You know, the thing is that he was in this movie called Kick-Ass, and he played this like dorky kid who becomes a superhero.
Oh yeah.
And I can't shake it.
Oh, see, I didn't know that, so
I can't shake it. And so he's over there trying to act like he's like this tough dude.
Yeah.
And I keep remembering him getting his behind kicked and like squealing like a pig, and I'm just like,
nah. See, the one thing I didn't like about Craven was the ending and the brother. I didn't like what they did to that character.
They always have it.
I know. It's the way. They have to continue it or leave it possibly continue for later for something else.
They're not. They canceled all the future plans for that series.
Did they? Michelle says I had a chicken salad sandwich for lunch.
That sounds great.
That sounds really good.
If you're in Ligonier, you know who makes a really good chicken salad sandwich? Or chicken salad? Sharon at Connections. When we used to not be vegetarians, hers was really good.
I don't remember having that.
It was like curried a little bit. It was good.
It's good. Norma finished reading North Woods for my other book club. Everyone raves about it, but I didn't care for it.
I've never heard that.
I've not heard of that.
Is that the Viking one?
Kimberly says, I've noticed that, and I love that about you guys.
That we actually care about.
We actually care, right?
I don't. You know, it's so weird to me because I don't think that that's an unusual thing. Like, you
it doesn't seem
bills,
like,
so
right?
I have an active.
You actually like the things we do, and you help us survive, and and we spread beauty together through the world. And it's weird that we wouldn't be interested in our people.
You know how there's that thing where they said never meet your heroes, which I don't always think is true.
Not always,
but sometimes that's right. Like I hung out with somebody who I admired for years and years, and the way that they talked about their customers, I was like, we are
not the same.
We're just different.
Yeah.
Because they said, I don't, like I was talking about one of our customers, and they said straight up, I do not care about them. I only use them for money. And I was like, do what?
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
Because I asked if they had seen this design that they had used using their components. And they straight up said that they were not of interest. And I was like,
yeah.
It's a different world.
It is. It is. And it's sad. I think that's sad. I think that's a small life.
Well, you know, some people have their priorities. And that's just because for us it's not the way, you know, let them.
Right.
But I don't work with them anymore, so that should also be an indicator of how I feel about that. I mean, if you talk about people in such a poor, negative way, and
you're not compatible with us to be around.
Because it's like trying to find people with like a higher vibe. You know,
that's not a high vibe.
And when you're like talking, like
that's a base vibe. It's base level.
Correct.
Cheryl's here. Hi, cutie says Laurie and I got back from our sunset walkies, working overtime tonight and listening in. Well, thanks for listening in, and thanks for your comments on my post earlier too. A lot of you out there commented. Thank you. You are so fabulous, says Kimberly. Thank you. We try. You are too. We are because you are. And that's the thing. Like, we're surrounded by such creative people out there. You all are so creative and so inspiring.
Did y'all see that lady? She goes, "Y'all are so creative." And she like critiques the home cooking videos and like life hacks.
No. I have not.
Some of them are funny. Some of them like they're just poor, so leave them alone.
Mm-hmm.
But some of them, she's this funny black lady, and she like they had this one where they were gonna use their coffee maker to filter vodka through Starburst, and she's like, "Act like you got another house and you don't care if this one burns down."
Oh boy.
And she was like getting into it, and there was this one where they were making like chicken enchiladas from like canned chicken,
Mm-hmm.
and she just like ripped into it. I laughed myself hoarse. She's talking about that what will happen when you eat that.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with canned chicken. Some is good.
It looked not great.
Yeah.
You know, it looked not awesome.
Wasn't the good kind.
I guess not. It wasn't that Sun Kiss or whatever that.
There's a Little Devil. There's a brand Little Devil we used to get. It was pretty good.
Is that? Mm-hmm. I don't know.
But anyway, Sue says I'll post a couple Robin Hitchcock tracks later. Yeah, post them. Post them in the Design Challenges group. Mm-hmm. I'd like to hear them. Marianne says I also read Sanctuary by Leona Andrews. Julie was in hermit mode Saturday and Sunday after too much last week. Made a few pairs of earrings and a couple of necklaces, so that was good. That's awesome. It was good to see you on the Creative Make Along. We're glad you could stop by. Hopefully dinner was good. And Marianne says, I don't think that it's part of a series, Andrew. Kimberly's saying thank you. She thinks it's about a food poisoning. Oh, that's terrible.
For your tummy troubles.
Mm-hmm. Marianne watched episode 4 of Wheel of Time.
Oh, we did too.
We did that too.
I like it. You know, I can't remember. I read the first book and I have not read the other ones. I bought all of them. I need to one day embark upon that.
But that's actually reading, right? Or did you buy them on Audible?
Audiobook.
Oh, you did?
So that's like, I kind of feel like that's a commitment. And
you don't have to read them all at once.
I know, but it's several hundred hours.
Yeah.
And usually I like that, but I don't know. I need to.
It feels daunting.
I don't know.
Feels heavy to get into.
You know, sometimes with the high fantasy, it takes a minute to get into it. Yeah. And you got plenty of minutes to get into it. And one of our friends, he's like really into it. So I feel like I should read it so that we'll have something to talk about. But for now, I'm okay with just watching the show.
Yeah, it's a good show. I think so. Like not having read it,
Pike.
Not having read it, I think it's a pretty good show. Julie says all my customers become friends. It's nice when that happens. Mm-hmm. It's better that way, I think.
Well, yeah. Then it's not stranger danger time.
Yeah. Donna says, sorry, I had to take a call from my sister and had to walk my dog, and he took forever. They do that sometimes. Barnaby sometimes refuses to come in. I have to pick him up and carry him in.
You got his stat.
I got his stat, though, the other day.
He then forgot himself.
I know. He was outside.
He did make up for it. He felt bad for it.
Yeah. We went outside, and we were walking all around. He walked into the neighbor's yard, which I know the neighbor doesn't mind, but it's our neighbor, Beth. But I don't like him thinking that he can just go in the neighbor's yard. And so I went down and got him, and I knew something was up. Something must have scared him because his tail was slightly puffed. He was on edge, and I picked him up. Well, at first I tried to chase him out, and sometimes he knows what I'm doing. I go like this, and when I go like this, that means get to the porch, we're going in. And sometimes he listens, and sometimes he takes a few steps and falls over on his side.
He's like, if I'm cute enough, I
If
don't
I'm
have
cute
to
enough,
go
maybe
in.
I don't have to go in. And he rolls around on his side. So he fell on his side, and I went to pick him up, and he hissed at me, and he did like a nibble like bite, not like a hard bite, because he doesn't bite me, but he nibble bit me. And I took his little head. I said, "What are you doing? What is this nonsense?" I said, "We were just going to go in the yard, but now we're going in." So he had to come in because he was getting too wild.
Because we don't need him getting, like, we don't need our cats to get into, like, fights.
No, we don't want him to. Yeah, he came in all riled up, and he was yelling at people in here, the other cats, and so yeah, yeah, he was too wound up. He had to come in, but yeah. Anyway, we know how that is, Donna. Marion says, I watched Wheel of Time and Dark Winds and have the mirror and the light recorded to watch later.
That's that Wolf Hall. That Hillary Mantel.
Kim says, I just got the first book of the Dark Winds series someone recommended here.
What's the Dark Winds?
I think I've been talking about the Dark Winds here.
Is it a sexy time book?
Is it a sexy time book?
Nobody liked my post about
I did. That was so funny. It was a little bit
it's a little bit raunchy.
Graphic, yeah.
But it's also true.
Right.
It's true.
Yeah.
Some of them books, they get descriptive.
Yeah, they do.
Them fairy time.
Yeah, they do. I thought for sure that would have more likes on it, and I looked at it today, and I was like, there were like 2 or 1.
You know, the thing is, like, when I do shares, people don't always see it. And I track analytics, so I can see how many people see stuff. And I can have a post, and like thousands of people will see it and interact with it. And I'll have an engagement circle of over 100,000 people. And then the very next post, it can be 2.
Yeah. So, and a lot of times that's why you don't do a share, because no one sees it.
That's why I do a lot of screenshots.
He does a screenshot and posts the picture and then posts the link below.
And I get more people see
More people actually see what he's posting than if he doesn't if you hit share. It happens a lot to me too.
It's good for us if people share our posts because it helps us go higher in the ranking.
Yeah.
But when we do it and share other people's content, very rarely do people actually see it.
See it on our end, yep.
So.
Yep.
So sharing is caring.
Sharing is still caring.
But I share in a very specific
But you can also
way.
screenshot and tag us, and that helps too.
That's it.
Well.
No, just keep sharing them.
Keep sharing.
And saving them. I don't know why people save posts, but if you need to save a post, go ahead on Instagram and just save all that stuff. Just save
our posts.
Save it.
I did a lot of video making, little short makings this weekend while I was at the store. They're not easy to make. They take a long time, but
the ones that I do that take no thought are the ones that go viral.
Yeah.
I made a headpin. I didn't actually do a good job at making a headpin, and that one went viral.
Yeah.
I can spend some.
Would you have like 10,000 views or something on that?
I don't remember, but it was a lot.
Yeah.
And then the one, like, I could take weeks making some, because sometimes I'll do this thing where I take a snapshot and then make like a video of it. It takes sometimes weeks to make those. And
100 people. Yeah.
2 people, not 100.
I mean, see it even. Yeah.
2 people see it. And then there's like some, and I'm not being salty, but sometimes these fitness people, they have 9 posts and 150,000 people because they show their man titties. And I'm like, maybe I'm gonna start photoshopping my head on people. Because
if you got the body, work it. But
maybe I'll just
also follow good creative content.
I know, but it's one of those things, like, I'm not trying to say that they don't work hard, because you got to do what you got to do. I don't know anything about that. But sometimes, like, I post, like,
I know my body's not in that shape.
I post pretty regularly. I work real hard on my content. and I get like 4 people looking at
Right.
it, and some
And
people,
you don't have 100,000
they
followers
take
yet.
some dizzy, grainy picture of them in the back of a seat of a car somewhere, and somehow
Yep.
they get the extra people with their tongue out emoji.
It's true. Susan says, "What a horrible attitude to have about the people who keep you in business."
Correct.
Yeah, correct. Susan says, "Also, I have been graced with Smoky Cat on my lap."
Hold you down. Idabelle sat with me. It was pretty cute.
Yeah. Kimberly says, "I honestly kind of want to know who, so I don't give that person my business. I have no desire to support people like that." I know.
I'm not going to talk smack because then
it always comes back.
yes, someone going to find out.
It always comes back. Oh.
She's trying to be loving. I didn't post that picture because my face looks round like a cantaloupe. But that's a cute picture of her little black bean toes.
Donna says, "I so overdid it on Saturday and I knew better than to do that, but I finished up today on getting my house cleaned up and clothes and sheets washed." Nice. Yeah, I was doing a lot of, I've started posting more on TikTok. We were talking about this. Our new friend Mandy up in Johnstown posts on TikTok, and she has a small business making stained glass. And she doesn't do all the crazy things you think you have to do on TikTok to, and she still gets a lot of people visiting her TikTok page and visiting her Etsy store because of that. So we're like, if you can just post some products and be okay on there, then maybe I should start doing it. So I've been posting a little bit more on TikTok, and I've been trying to make some different kinds of videos for that. And so, of course, that all falls over into other reels, YouTube shorts, all that stuff. So I did this one, and I knew 100% I would get people saying that it made them dizzy because Andrew's like, it made me dizzy. But I did it because it was something different. And that post now has, I think, over 1,200 views, which for us is a lot. Normally our shorts and our little, those reels, we get like 300 to 400 at most. Like that's at most. And that one I think got over 12 or maybe 1,600, something. It's at least 1,200 some views. So it was something different, and I think that made the difference. I also did one with my face introducing us, and that one has almost an equal number of views, which was really good. I think sometimes people want to see your face. So
they tell that.
Yeah. So I did that. I'm hesitant to show my face on those things sometimes, though, because when I have done that before, I've gotten very rude comments sometimes from YouTube people who watch the reels. But I have to also just keep in mind that that's normal and that's going to happen, and it shouldn't stop me from doing what I'm doing.
Well, what do they matter?
That's what I have to keep in mind. What do they matter?
Let
them. I'm getting better at that as I get older. It used to affect me a lot. And now I'm getting better at just, let them, whatever, it's fine. But I did that one, I did the other, and then I did a stop motion, because at some point Andrew and I were talking about stop motion for something, I think, or I was talking with someone about stop motion.
I was doing some stop motion, and then you're like, that's so cool.
Yeah, and so I tried it. I got a little app to do stop motion, and I did the stop motion of all the pins at the shop, and I did that and played around with that.
Did you do it, the music? Did you go, It's Raining Men? But
no, I used...
Then dub in pins?
No, I didn't, but I did Free Falling from Tom Petty. I did Free Falling.
It'd have been more funny.
It's raining pins.
You know how they used to do those old commercials?
Pins.
They're like,
Hallelujah.
I'm so excited to be in. And then they're like,
they
Nebraska.
Dub it in. They dub it in.
Cleveland.
It's raining pins. Hallelujah. It's raining pins. I should have done that. I didn't think about that. I should
be a content maker.
I know.
I don't actually have any desire about that. But if I came up with ideas, I can make
someone else could do it. I know. Too
Yeah,
bad we don't have a team for that here at
I
Allegory,
know.
right?
My own BuzzFeed.
um, Donna says, "Ooh, that potted meat is high in salt content and other gross things, but my ex loved it."
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're super salty for sure.
Well, let's say you don't get the runs,
Yeah.
theoretically.
Donna says, "Kimberly, I feel your pain. I had food poisoning 3 times in my life, and it was horrible. I've had it at least once.
I've had it a couple times.
I've had it at least once, and I'm sure that's what it was. And it was terrible. Terrible. We won't go into that."
I ate a bad orange once when we first got together.
Mhm.
I was convinced we were going to break up after that because it was horrific. And we had just started going out, and we went to this Mexican place around the corner. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to get an orange for dessert. The orange it tastes a little bit off. I was like, oh, maybe it's because, I don't know. I got so violently ill from both ends, y'all. That took some Cirque du Soleil acrobatics on that. And the walls to the apartment were very thin. And so I try to run the shower while this is happening, but it also wasn't quick.
Yeah.
So it took a long time. And he's like, "Are you okay? Are you just gonna take a shower now for about an hour?"
All right.
And I was like, I'll be fine. I also had a roommate at the time. And he as well and we had one bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
He as well needed to use the bathroom. And I was like, don't worry about it. But the early incarnation of that.
Yeah.
So there you go.
That was some interesting times.
I'm glad your memory is not great. That's all I'm saying. That's how you forge a connection or lose it.
Right. Yeah, I was just glad he was okay. Lena says, we gave up because it looked like a bit like a video game the first season. Supposedly it gets better.
Oh, Wheel of Time?
I could see that. Marion says, well, I'm not sure how much it follows the books.
I don't know.
Hello, Lennis, by the way.
But their costumes, I liked them. One, them featherhead people. I mean, I guess that's not a good term. That's not, but their heads are made with feathers, so.
Yep. Marion says, I enjoyed the show, but also enjoyed the books.
Their costumes are great.
Donna says, all of my customers are friends too. I would never, ever talk bad about any of them. Right?
I will talk bad if they earn it.
If they earn it.
But generally speaking, they don't do that.
Suzanne says, no, not Barnaby.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's a little batty.
He was a hisser as a baby.
He was a hisser as a baby. First thing we saw him, first thing he did when he picked him up was hiss at you.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, Andrew denied him right away. And then Andrew had picked Gilbert.
Of course, because he's so sweet.
The charming little
and he
ginger.
Hold you and love you. And at first I wanted the black one.
Yeah. My grandmother
claimed it.
My grandmother claimed that. Yeah, Cricket. And then there were Barnaby and Gilbert left. And they didn't have names yet. And my mom, because we said we'd take Gilbert, and I secretly wanted Barnaby, but I didn't think we needed 4 cats at the time. I was like, we'll add 1 more, that'll be enough. Well, my mom just brought both of them and says, well, you can get to know them and see which one you really like. And I think she knew what she was doing. But we ended up with both of them.
That's how we ended up with 3 more.
Yep.
Because we couldn't break them up once we saw their bonded pair.
I know. Marion says, people, cats, same thing, right? It's true. Marion says, yes, Hilary Montel. Tony Hillerman. Yeah, the Navajo police mystery. That's the Dark Winds. That's the one we were talking about the other night that I said I'd never seen, but everyone seems to be watching that right now. Let's see. Kim says, haven't started yet, maybe tonight.
This show?
the show or the book. Oh, this one's a yeller. She's always been a yeller.
I have the cutest picture, and she yelled in my face as a baby. Oh, now it's sweet.
Oh, Ida B. That's Ida Bell. She's a sweet girl. Sometimes. Huh.
She's the alpha.
She's the alpha kid.
So she eats first.
Yes, she does. She eats first.
Yeah, she's like, are you going to tell her everything?
Not everything.
What?
Michelle says, I have not really been on Facebook, been busy. That's good. It's good to be away from it sometimes. Susan says, Smokey Cat isn't allowed in the basement unless we have bad weather, so naturally he wants to go downstairs. I went to do laundry last night, and he shot like a bat out of hell down the steps. Gertie tries to do that down the stairs. She's not allowed down there yet either. She's too little. And she sometimes shoots out, and I grab her by the back feet. The one time she ran down there, today she ran out on the porch.
You always let her run out on the porch.
It's because Gilbert takes his slow time, usually getting in the door or out the door. And I was trying to get them out or get them back in, and she darted out. But she only went to the porch, and it was so windy she like froze.
Mm-hmm. She's so cute.
She didn't know what to do with all the wind out there.
Mm-hmm.
So it was easy to grab her, because sometimes she tries to run down the sidewalk, and I have to go running after her.
She don't do that with me.
No, she does not. But she went on the porch.
They see which daddy it is, and then if it's William, they go run up. If it's me, they're like,
I'll stay back.
Closes the door and lock the door. We're going to have to be the wild children.
Julie's watching the new season of White Lotus. Is addicting, but so dysfunctional.
We started the first season of that.
I think I finished the first season of that.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't
know if we ever watched the second season.
Weird feelings about that. But I am intrigued because Parker Posey's in it.
I don't know if I watched the second season or not now that we're talking about it.
And I do like that one actress.
If I watched it, it would have been when you were away.
I saw it.
Did you?
Yeah, we saw that.
Did we watch the second one?
No, not the second one.
That's what I mean, the second one.
But I do like that one actress. What's her name? The one that has a real distinctive voice.
Oh, the funny one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I can't think of her name now either.
When she starts doing the primal scream on the boat.
Sue says, and he can be impossible to catch. Yeah, they're sneaky that way. Donna says, Andrew, that video you posted about the book had me dying laughing.
Well, if you read that genre of book, then you know they're not making it, she's not stretching it too far.
Yeah, right. Donna says, yay, that's wonderful. I think about the reels doing well, because Mary Jane says, I like that video. I want to visit the store. We wish everybody could come visit the store.
The one lady that made that, she also she had one about orthopedic shoes, about being elderly and needing orthopedic shoes. And I have been on a search for comfortable shoes. So I as well found that hilarious.
Yeah. Susan said, some people just have too much time on their hands. Some do. Sandra said, this video almost gave me a seizure. I had to look away. That's why I can't speed up my own videos. Yes, do not watch things like that if it's going to give you that problem.
If you feel the urge of your medical condition coming on, exit out.
Yes, you can swipe
you have to
by
grit your teeth
and bear it, grin and bear it for us. Yes, don't danger your health watching our reel.
Be like in the comments, I puked my guts out and had to go to the ER.
Cheryl says, you have 7 likes on Free Falling. In where? On the TikTok? That's getting higher. We don't do TikTok much, so 7 likes is actually kind of a lot for us over there right now.
Oh boy.
I know, right? Well, we've just started using it, really. I mean, we've had it for a while. And when we had the girls in that were working in the store with us, they were going to help us with the TikTok because they're younger.
And
they use it a lot.
Did a good, the one did a good job.
Yeah, it was a good introductory.
Genevieve.
It was a good intro to the store back then. But
I feel like she should do voice narration for everything.
I know.
She's not a child anymore, though.
No, she is not.
She's grown.
She's grown. I
Can
think,
you
is she
believe
living in New
that?
York now?
I don't
I think
know.
she might be I don't know if she
She's
just
going
visits or.
somewhere living her best life.
Donna says, by the way, love the Tom Petty song. Me too.
It would have been more funny with the other one.
Marion says, I'd rather listen to Tom Petty. Cheryl says, just liked all the videos. Thank you. Thank you.
Don't forget to save them.
Save them. Does that make a difference?
In Instagram, it does.
Does it? If you hit the save?
That little thing that looks like a flag that nobody uses. Apparently, that means that somebody likes it.
Yeah. I sometimes save some stuff,
For
like
what?
the pottery stuff, to go back and look.
Send that here.
Mm-hmm. Donna says, when I was married, all 4 of us got food poisoning. It was awful.
That's a bucket situation.
Everyone's saying so sweet to Ida Bell. Ida Bell, so cute. Parker Posey is amazing, says Julie.
I heard people talking smack about how her accent. You know, she's from the South.
Oh yeah.
So if she gets it wrong, then who will get it right? Because that's her
Charlie
people.
joined us over there.
We need to have to see turquoise.
I know. I don't know if you're still over there, Charlie. Didn't say hi though.
Are we ready?
Hold on. Ann says Daniel Tiger is allowed in the basement, but to generally keep the door shut. He's so affronted he will block the door from being closed when I open it back up if he doesn't go down. Jennifer Coolidge. Yes, that's it, Julie.
She's hilarious.
Yes, she is.
Whatever she's in, I laugh.
I know.
You know, I never watched that whole thing of the 2 broke girls. It's kind of depressing if you're actually broke in New York.
Right.
But I watched the clips of her on Instagram, as one does.
Michelle says, the real at the store, I did share. Great video. Thanks. Let's see here. I don't even have the TikTok app, says Donna.
Some people are like so against the TikTok.
Yeah.
They're like, the Chinese. I said, what they going to do with the information they collect on our beads?
I know, right? All right. Let's flip it around. Let's see. We've got some Czech glass to look at tonight.
Some cool stuff. Some stuff people been asking for.
Julie said her accent is the best thing about this season. She draws words out very long.
And there's people I know who are like that. And we get along.
And you get along? Okay, let's get the lights up.
That's my people. On my dad's side. Maybe not the rich people. I definitely
not the rich ones, right?
What's our number? And where's the paper? Where's my marker?
I don't know where anything is. Here's a marker. I don't see the paper. Might have to cut more. We might be out.
Hand it over.
Hand it.
Red Rover, Red Rover.
Red Rover, Red Rover. Let the paper come over. And then I have to figure out what letter system we're doing today.
I got some stuff y'all gonna like.
Let's see. Have we done CG lots lately?
We did CG at some point.
Yeah, that was March of almost exactly this same week of last year. But we can use that again.
CG.
Czech glass.
Oh, that makes sense. But it's not all Czech glass though.
Oh, okay. How about GC lots?
GC.
How about, we just did that one. Do we have, how about GT, good things? Good things lots. Does that sound good for you? Oh boy.
GNT?
What?
You know, that was one of my favorite summertime things.
Yeah.
I can drink one.
Donna says it's not against TikTok. It's just not for me at 70 years old.
Yeah. You know, I kind of feel the same way. I watch the TikTok via Instagram.
Yeah, once it filters down to Instagram.
Correct.
I
I'm like,
usually
who
see it
are
once it
these
filters.
people?
I see it once it filters to Facebook.
I'm like,
He
who are
watches.
these young people doing things that people seem to know?
MM says, Kimberly, Monday Madness.
We already did that. GT is fun. G and T. You know what else I
GT.
like as far as alcoholic beverage is concerned in the summertime is the Pims.
Pims.
Pims cup.
Pims is good.
I always felt so fancy when I drank those.
Did any of your father's family come from Virginia, Andrew?
I'm sure.
Cheryl says, oh, it's fun, and I'm up there in digits. I am trying to, like, it's just, I feel like there's so many things that we try and stay up on and try to publish on that it wears me out. And, like, I can't watch them for entertainment. I just have to watch them for, like, business. That's what I feel like.
My business coach, she had over 1 million followers on TikTok. She said she didn't make one single sale off of it. So, if it don't work for Josie Lewis, it's not. We're, I don't know. But Mandy said it works for her.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, hey, I'm going to try it because really, as long as I can download the reels that I make on Instagram to share them on, I'm sharing them on Blue Sky, I'm sharing them on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and now TikTok.
The one that I spend the most time on is Facebook, of course. And then I also spend kind of a lot of time on our Patreon. And I put together stuff on our Patreon.
Yeah.
And I spend like sometimes some of those you got to kind of read it with love in your heart because I post it when I'm slightly delirious from sleep deprivation. And sometimes I just like cut out at the end.
It just trails off.
Done is better than perfect.
Michelle says, I have Instagram trying to figure it out for something, for show, for something. Anne says, I'll be 60 this year, and so much of technology just makes me tired. Cheryl says, our local pet shop that sells natural dog treats gets 7 to 10 sales a week, and she just started on TikTok around Christmas.
Wow, good for her.
Good. I want to do that.
7 to 10 sales, I'll take it.
Yeah, if we had 7 to 10 more sales a week, that'd be lovely. A beach friend. All right. Ooh.
Y'all wanted that laser engraved.
Okay, so here's some of the.
Let's punch it.
Let's punch it, he says.
Just take one.
Oh. All right. So. Oh, it's just trying to figure it out for short clips.
Oh, yeah. There's this stuff called long format content and short format. We definitely fit natural into long.
Yes, we do. I have a very hard time keeping things because I try and cross post everything to Threads now too, and the descriptions have to be short enough to fit to go over to Threads.
Probably for the best.
Yeah,
we get into like, listen to my childhood trauma.
Right. There's only so much trauma you can put in 500 characters. So he's like, I can sweeten condense that for you.
In 3 words. Did you ever do that exercise in creative writing? Write a story in 3 words.
Not 3 words. Definitely not 3 words.
Wow. Some of the
things I have.
You can do. One of my friends that I met, she does this thing called 7 words. So I guess you get a little extra on that. And you have to make a story, and it can only have 7 words in it. And there's some really good ones.
Good ones. So this is GT1. This is a laser etched octopus, Czech glass, in this beautiful blue. And let me get you the dimensions on this too. This is 12 millimeters by about 18. 12 by 18. There's only 1 strand of this available. GT1, $9. Donna says, I only do Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and sometimes that's too much for me. I'd rather be outside working my flower beds.
You can work our flower beds if you want.
I know, right?
It's probably too cold for you. It's too cold for me. I went outside for a second. I was like, oh. Hey, did you measure that?
I did.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
GT2. This one's super cute.
Only one of each of those.
Only one of each of these. These little laser etched turtles. Sea turtles. These are sea turtles. They got their little flipper
Probably
flappers.
shouldn't have started with the one that we don't have one of each of, because sometimes people get real hesitant with the first ones. Like they don't want to like bite the bullet. But that one.
This is super cute. Sea turtles, laser etched, Czech glass, $9 for the strand, 1 strand available. GT2.
Oh, I got something to bust the seal.
And these are modern. These are not vintage.
Some of the molds are vintage, but they are contemporary.
They're contemporary, modern made. Oh, these are cool. I forgot we got these.
William actually helped pick stuff out.
I picked stuff out, I know. These are Czech glass fish with an AB finish. White.
Aren't those fun?
Aren't these cute?
There's a town in Florida. It's all white. And it's got this weird name. It's called like 84 or something like up here. A84 or whatever. And my friend Mary Beth, she lives there.
What is it? Up here?
There's a town in Florida. And it's on the coast. And it has some weird number name for the name of the town. And the whole town is white.
White.
And I think that it would, and both ethnically and aesthetically.
And aesthetically.
But they also do this thing where they project videos on the buildings once a year.
Huh.
And they make it like an art installation.
That's cool.
So I was like, okay.
Like, why don't you do that year round?
Because then not to make,
Yeah, you're not overdo it. Yeah.
Plus, I bet they don't want them people traipsing through their yards.
Donna says, it's cold in the mornings and our highs for this week is in the high 70s and low 80s. I love to get out when it's a bit cooler and do a little bit each day. Yeah, our temperature today was 54. That was the high.
I still have the heater on.
Yep,
so.
it's
Though, and you
cold.
put the humidifier on because I've been waking up and my throat's unsore because of the heater.
Oh, no. Oh, let me measure these fish for you. These are super cute. These are about 11.5 by...
They kind of look like Swedish fish.
Yeah, they do.
But white.
By 24. Yeah, they do, actually. Super cute. GT3. 3 strands of those available. $6 a strand.
Did you tell them how to climb?
If you'd like to claim, take the lot number. That's the GT number. Send it to us in an email to info@allegorygallery.com. Please send a new email each time. Don't reply to an old email to send a new one. It's that simple. If you send an email, you are promising to take it. We will invoice you after the show via Square. GT4. These are.
I love these.
Ooh, look at these
Daddy, baby.
melons. Look at these melons.
Are they gonna glow at you?
My inner dragon says food, says Marianne.
Don't eat the beads,
Don't
y'all.
eat the beads. I know. We sold one of GT3. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah.
This is GT4. These melons, 6mm melons in this green blue. It's super pretty. Let me see here. Let me get this. There we go. There's a better. I always forget to put the light up here, but it always looks so much better when I do. Let me move this. Maybe balance.
We're talking about trying to do a Czech glass day once a week.
Once every other week, maybe. Maybe once a week.
That's how we do.
Yeah. We'd like to do more Czech glass if we can.
More like consistent, so y'all know what day is what.
Right. GT4 looks fun.
Gemstones.
Tomorrow's gemstones.
Mm-hmm.
GT4, $4. We've sold two of the GT4s so far. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There's one of these left.
Don't they glow at you?
They do glow at you. I don't know if they
glow.
Glow. The coatings, the finishes on them glow orange under the black light. That's kind of really cool.
Go to the club.
Go to the club. So that's the finish on them glows. GT4. I don't know how many lots we have today.
Don't worry about it. What number do you think is this?
That looks like...
Could be 6.
I think that's a 7.
Does that mean it's 650? In between 6 and 7?
I don't know. What's the invoice say?
I don't know. Don't worry about it.
It says, who cares what the invoice says? Well, if you like those melons.
Oh boy. You like them apples?
Right? Look at these melons.
Did y'all remember Good Will Hunting? William says no.
No.
Matt Damon.
I remember he was in it.
Flat.
This is all I remember about it.
Robin Williams. Their youth time.
These are about 6 millimeter, 5.5 to 6 millimeter melons.
Mini Driver.
GT5, beautiful blue color. It's beautiful light blue with the gold finish. I feel like we've had a number of things with this blue color lately. This glacier-like blue. GT5. 3 of them available.
On that with the Mocha Madness kit.
Oh, yes.
And it looked good.
Who was that did that? Was that Norma? Norma did that blue with the Mocha Madness?
It looked good.
It looked really good. Anne says, yes, Good Will Hunting is one of my favorite movies. I know the scene you mean.
How you like them apples?
I like them apples.
That guy was douchey. Are you allowed to say douchey or is that bad word?
I don't know. GT6. We thought y'all might like these.
Oh, I got some y'all.
These very pretty light green with like the purple.
Mm-hmm. That metallic.
The metallic purple.
Y'all said you wanted flowers.
Flowers in spring. These are about 10.3 millimeters. 3 strands of these available, $7 each.
Mm-hmm.
Contemporary Czech glass. GT6.
You were talking about having some of my designs made into Czech glass.
Yeah.
But I need to make some money first. And they're like, oh, it's not that expensive. It's only a couple $100 to make the molds. I said, but then what's the minimum for the
purchasing?
Like, oh, wow. Because then they are like, well, if you want it in these colors,
right,
then that's when it starts adding up. Because you don't get it just made in one color.
Yeah.
You get the finishes on it too. And of course, I'm like, I want gold. So maybe one day.
Kimberly says, Anne, the scene where Will scolds the Harvard a-hole is my favorite scene.
That's a very satisfying movie.
I haven't watched that in forever.
I know. Part of that's in Russian. We watched a show. We apparently watched the first season.
Netflix told us we watched the whole first season.
It was 10 years ago.
It's true. That doesn't mean we watched it 10 years ago, though.
I think we did watch it when it first came out.
But...
because we were like, oh my gosh, we're never going to see the second... How are we going to watch the second season? I remember stressing about not being able to watch it anymore. Because we didn't have the Sci-Fi channel, because I think it originally came on Sci-Fi. I don't even know if that exists anymore.
I don't know. Look at these green drops. These
And then
faceted drops.
Ooh, I got something coming up. Y'all gonna lose your mind.
Norma says, yep, that was me. I love the combination. It really enhanced both colors. I was at a loss of how to use that blue until I saw the blue and brown donuts. Then it clicked.
Do it.
Do
You
it.
know who uses that color scheme to great effect? There's a place in Asheville called the French Broad Chocolate Lounge, and
That's
everything
true.
is like pale blue and brown.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're delicious.
Delicious. These beautiful little drops are about 6 millimeters by, oh, come on, 6 by 8. 6 by 8 millimeter. Beautiful drops with that Picasso finish. Green and blue.
Those ones look slightly metallic also.
Marianne says, I've never seen the whole movie.
Good Will Hunting. I remember when it first came out, it was like that. I used to try to watch all the Oscar movies. I don't really do that anymore.
No. I wouldn't even know what movies are up for Oscars. Sold one of the GT7s. Thank you so much.
One of my friends, she's an actress, and so every year we
Ooh, these are
try
nice.
to watch them all. And the one year, all of the movies were about like the most uncomfortable sexual situations ever. And I was like,
Yeah.
by the third movie that was like graphic time, I was like, I don't know if I'm really interested in watching the rest of these.
Right.
And then one year, it was all about, all the movies were about hookers. And I was like, did they like get a memo?
Right. Did they? And well,
They don't
it's
know
like the color of the year, the theme of the year.
I was like, could we like maybe pick something different?
This is GT8. Look at these beautiful drops in this blue with a purple metallic finish on the outside. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Super pretty. GT8, $6 only per strand. Faceted drops.
Ooh, I got something coming up, y'all. You're not gonna sit on this business.
I don't think you want to sit on this one. This one was nice. I like those. GT8. GT9. Look at these, how cute they are. These little table cut coins. These are small though.
I love
They're
those.
11 millimeter. I'm used to seeing the coins bigger than that.
No, I want that.
11 millimeter table cut coins.
Those make the cutest little earrings.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think?
It'd be beautiful in a little bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
Good size for a bracelet.
With some leather.
That'd be nice.
With the oversized lobster claw and some leather.
He's designing already.
Turquoise,
right? GT9. Small coins, table cut with a Picasso edge.
How does this look with it? Is that too blue? That's too blue.
Too blue.
What about this flavor? Too yellow?
That goes with that Picasso edge for sure.
It kind of makes it a little bit more acidic.
Mm-hmm.
What if we do something completely random? How about this flavor? Oh, that's nice. No. I want something else.
Something else?
How about that flavor?
How about that flavor? That's pretty.
We going into the land of berries.
Berries.
How about this flavor?
Ooh.
That's
some
fine.
brushed copper.
Mommy, daddy, baby. There you go.
Brushed copper. That's beautiful.
I probably could say daddy, daddy, baby. Mommy, mommy, baby.
Mommy, mommy, baby. Daddy, daddy, baby.
I don't know where that came from.
I don't know where you got that from.
I started saying that in the car. I don't know where that came from.
Look at those brushed copper with that.
That looks good.
That looks really good.
I vote for that.
That's your vote.
Uh-huh.
I'll second that vote.
How about this one? This is copper, but antique. How about that flavor? Different vibe, right?
Different vibe, same material.
Do y'all like this one? Do interlude?
Interlude.
Design interlude.
That looks great.
That sounds like it should be like a blog.
Design interlude.
Like apartment therapy.
There you go.
Do y'all used to follow that? Apartment therapy?
Michelle's asking, what about dark gray?
I don't know if I have any.
I don't know if we have any dark gray here.
Peacock. I got peacock.
I bet peacock would go great.
There you go. These are bigger than the glass flower.
Yeah, they are.
That's like mermaid time.
It pulls out the green in the peacock.
How
That's
about
really pretty.
let's do this one. How about this? How about this flavor?
How about some rose quartz?
That's cute.
That's super cute. Super springy. Super springy. Donna says, that's my color jam. Which one, Donna? Donna says, with the copper.
Which copper?
Which copper? The light or the dark?
I like the brush, honestly.
I do too. I like that.
It brings out the just lifts it up.
Lifts it.
It lifts me up.
GT9.
Do we sell any of those?
Nope.
What?
I know.
You're not gonna do design interlude anymore, though.
Donna says both of them. GT10. We've got the beautiful dragonfly coins.
Some of y'all have been asking about dragonflies. Some of y'all have been asking laser. I don't know if is it technically laser.
I don't know how they do that for sure. I think the website said they were laser etched. And these are slightly bigger than the other coins, 13 and a half. 13 and a half, just so you can see the size difference. And there they are. It's good to see. Because these look small, but these are even smaller. These are so cute, these table cut coins. In the small size. Like I said, we're used to seeing them. We've had them in larger.
They're kind of they used to be expensive before, and now they're even more expensive.
That table cut process.
Wow, and the bigger the Czech glass, the more expensive it gets.
GT10. We have
GT.
GT.
That sounds like you're on the Duolingo. GT.
GT. GT10. We've sold one of these so far. Thank you so much. There are still 2 of them available. Student says, love this Czech glass. Thank you. We of course quote handpick these.
I didn't let William help.
I know. I even helped.
He's shaking back in there.
I know. I got to help again. Sometimes.
Usually I pick stuff up.
Yeah, he's usually the picker-outer.
Well, let's write a show.
Oh, I do love these. And what a price on these. These are so dang cute. I forgot about these. Super fun. Blue and pink.
You know what I think about when I see those? Chapel Rowan.
Chapel Rowan.
Is she still popular?
I don't know. This kind of looks like it could be Western.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
A little bit Western.
A little bit Western.
Club.
Yep. You got the Western Club.
Pink Pony Club.
There you go.
But, you know.
But you're actually riding the pony.
A little bit Missouri.
Yeah, these are cool. I've not seen this shape either.
It's an old shape, but they just started making it again.
Marion says conchos. Look at that. Love those. Give you a size on these. These are each about 10 millimeters by about 14 and a half. GT11. $5 only a strand. We've sold 1 strand so far. Thank you so much. 2 strands are left. Whoop, I hear the cats.
Thunderfoot.
Thunderfoot down the stairs. Somebody's chasing somebody. Oh, we just sold another one of those. Thank you so much. We've got one left. GT12. Only got 2 of these.
I love those.
Look at those. $13 a strand. Beautiful big cutaway flowers. Look at that. Those are table cut on the flower portion to reveal that beautiful blue glass underneath that silvery gray. And these are very unique. This is about a 19 millimeter coin.
How much was number 1?
Huh?
How much was number 1?
Number 1 was 9.
Okay.
GT12 are very nice, says Marianne, right? They are very nice. And both of these have just sold. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's a unique design there. GT13. Everybody looking for flowers?
Y'all asked for it.
Here's some flowers.
Or class live a couple weeks later.
Right?
Well, our vendor was in Tucson, and they just now got back. And so...
Yeah. It took a little bit.
And I think they had to take a vacation after.
I bet.
They were there for over a month.
Beautiful red, bright red.
You know what those remind me of? Quince flowers.
Mm.
I want to grow quince now because of the flowers. Because quince usually kind of tart, you know?
Uh-huh.
But you know, I like a membrillo with some, what's that cheese called? There's a cheese and it goes with that quince paste. Manchego.
I was going to say, is it Manchego? I thought it was. Susan says, always flowers. We just sold another GT10. That's the dragonfly. So I think there's one of those left. Thank you so much. Yep, Marianne just said Manchego. These red flowers, these flowers are the 13.5 millimeter size. 3 of them available, $7 a strand. GT13.
There used to be this place called Moto, and it was underneath the train track.
That was a good place.
And it was a horseshoe bar.
I think you introduced me to that.
Me and Cat Merrick used to go there all the time. And they had a worm sticky talkie cake. So good. The place, I felt like no matter where you took a picture in there, the lighting always had this like beautiful lighting. It's just all this diffused lighting.
These are awesome. These little flowers with this AB metallic finish.
Oh, I love those.
So different.
How about peacock, Pearl?
Uh-huh. These are about
You want to see me? Peacock?
about 9.5 millimeters, we'll say. But look at the colors on those. Let's see.
Or are those too dark? Here. This flavor, maybe. How about this flavor?
That flavor.
These ones
Yeah,
are slightly pink.
There we go. That's really...
Maybe. How about some hematite? Design interlude.
Design interlude. Ooh.
How about we do a live challenge? We haven't done one of those in a minute.
Donna says, OMG, GT14 is gorgeous. Yeah, aren't they? And $8 a strand only, and very different. I've not seen this little flower around. Oh, so nice. So there they are. What's the AG Design Challenge?
Use Czech glass.
Use Czech glass. So AG Live Challenge. Show us a design in the Allegory Gallery Design Challenges group or put it on your timeline and tag us that you've made with Czech glass. AG Live Challenge. GT14. These look great with hematite. Think about little hematite spacers in there between those flowers. Michelle Michelle says, "Oh yes, the hematite." Susan says, "Fabulous." Aren't they nice?
That's real hematite.
That's real hematite.
I didn't know they had fake it, but they do.
They fake it nowadays.
It's called hemalite.
Hemalike? Ugh, who wants that when you can have the real stuff?
It is lighter in weight than hematite.
Oh.
So maybe if you're concerned about weight.
You
know, one of my first stones that I collected, I got at Black Market Mineral in Church Street Station in downtown Orlando, and I got a hematite.
Yeah.
And that was one of my first stones. I still probably have it somewhere.
That's your first stone ever?
One of them.
One of them. Michelle says, like we have made like in the past. Yes. That's what the AG Live Challenge is, something you've already made. Bring it back. Let's see it.
Want to make something now?
Yeah, you can whip something up real quick if you want to, but you can also post something you've already made.
You don't get anything besides love.
Right?
Maybe.
GT15. Check out these metallic flowers. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Look at those with those peacock pearls. These peacock are kind of a brown peacock. It's really cool. Check those out.
Look at that. Welcome to the club.
Right? Susan says trippy. Aren't those fun? This is GT15. Only $5 a strand. How are these 5 and the other ones were 8?
Well, that's how nature goes.
That's how nature goes. $5 a strand.
You see these of those?
Ooh.
Be careful the end's not done. That's from my personal collection.
Andrew's personal collection. Look at those pearls.
You can also see the price.
The price in that strand of pearls. That was a way back price too. Those are. Look at those pearls.
Nah, that's not it.
It's not it.
That's not the winner.
That's not the winner. Donna says, "Oh Lord, those are even more gorgeous than 14 were." Well, so far nobody's buying them, so nobody likes them. Oh, poor little flowers.
How about this one?
Poor little flowers. Oh.
It brings out the warmer.
Like
that gold starts flashing.
That's what I did when I put them with these peacocks that are more of a brown tone. It pulls out all those browns. Look at those. Ooh, those are pretty.
You're right. And the ones, them stick ones back. I get nervous. Sometimes you go up there and you don't come back.
You don't come back. You don't get them back.
You want this? How about this flavor? We're gonna go get wild and get wild.
I know we've sold a lot of pearls this color.
That coppery.
That coppery color. Look at those flowers with those pearls.
Somebody said this chocolate. So when did you ever eat chocolate with this color? Maybe like a caramel.
Look at that.
They called it chocolate peacock. I said, what? We just made it, just add in words now.
All right. Oh, we just sold all 3 of 15.
Thank you.
Thank you. All 3 of them just sold all at once. I wonder if we're very delayed in some places. Because that's like, unless our emails hung up, but all 3 of those came in at exactly the same time. And they're time stamped exactly the same time.
So what, do you all want to do mixed lots?
Let's do a few mixed lots.
Okay. I'm already in the future.
He's in the future.
Some people in the past. I'm in the future.
GT16.
GT.
$9. Look at these beautiful little dandelion etched.
There's only one.
There's only one. Is that all they had, or is that why
that's all they had.
Sold out? Because I know I wanted a bunch of these.
Because we ordered a bunch. They don't have that many.
One available, $9, dandelion etched, and it has just sold. Thank you so much. It says, whoever bought them, just thank you. Just saved me from myself.
Or did they? Or did they sweep it out from under you?
GT 17.
I think those make such cute earrings.
These little flowers. Look at these. Opalescent flowers. So pretty. $5 for the strand. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 little flowers for only $5. They would make very cute earrings.
12 little flowers.
12 little flowers.
That sounds like a story.
Right? GT 17. These are approximately, their widest 12.5 millimeters by, let's see if I can get you a 12.5 by approximately 8.5. Whoops. Beautiful Czech glass, $5 a strand, GT 17.
What number is that?
17. I think they're super pretty. They're also great for bead caps.
Mixed lots. There's only one each. I say that now, and then the next one probably will be like 5.
But generally mixed lots, only one of each.
No, momento por favor.
Gesundheit. All right, mixed lot.
These, the leaf, we're never going to be able to get again. So.
Leaf.
Because I just talked to her and she said she's not allowed to come back to the U.S. anymore.
Oh, really? So this leaf, never getting it again. And then you get this is a chalcedony. Dyed chalcedony drops. We just sold one of the 17s. Thank you so much. Dyed chalcedony drops. Oh, Marianne says phone needs charging. We'll watch the rest on TV. All right, thank you. We know we won't hear from you as much. Beautiful dyed chalcedony drops. These are approximately 10.5, let's say 10.5 millimeters by about 8. And then these tiny, tiny little pearls.
I love those little tiny itty bitty pearls.
They've got good color. These are vintage pearls. Super great color. That would be pretty just to put together. Put the little pearls in between as spacers and then have the leaf. That'd be a great bracelet.
I tried to think about it.
Yeah, like you could just make that into a bracelet and you would sell it for way more than $18.
And she used to kind of do that where she would get some of those mixed lots that I would make and then it's kind of like a sort of.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. That was cool. GT 18. One available.
Right, do a recap of the stuff that didn't sell.
Okay. I will do a recap.
I was in the future, now I'm in the past.
Now you're in the past.
How quickly the tables have
turned. The time machine slowed down.
What?
Okay, let's see. Still available. We still have GT1. Lena says, that's why I lurk when I can't type back because I'm doing laundry or something whilst it's on. We're glad to have y'all.
Lennis is having a sale.
Yeah, Lennis is. Are you still having your sale? I think so, right? On her timeline.
She's got an album.
Album of lots of goodies.
A lot of artisan stuff.
Lots of artisan stuff. GT1 is still available. This is the octopus. No, the squid. More like a squid. It has six tentacles. Squid.
Or cuttlefish. Could be
Cuttlefish. GT1, $9. Laser etched squid, 1 available. Let's see. So that is still available. GT2 is also the sea turtle.
I thought y'all liked the sea critter.
The sea turtle is still available. Who got a day at the beach box? You're not going to get this in the box.
Nope.
But it would go well with the box.
How many is out of the box? That's like
$9 out of 75.
That's 1/7.
Right? That'd be a tiny little box.
That'd be 7 strands in there. There you go.
There you go. So there you go, sea turtle.
I ordered a kit from somebody, and I got it, and I was like so excited, and I was like I was waiting for it, and I was getting like in my mind, I was like trying to think because they didn't show everything that was in it. It was supposed to be like a surprise, and then I got it, and it was like I could hear that
in your head.
And it was like the balloon had been deflated.
Oh.
I like it when I open a kit or a mix or whatever, a package, to feel like delight. Like I want my heart to race, but not like in a medical condition kind of way.
No.
But like in a, like I'm excited when they talk about their pupils dilating in the sexy
you just sold GT2, thank you. Oh, tried to sell GT2 again. Sorry, we're out. We do have GT3 though. We have 2 of these still available. These fish, the white fish with the AB finish. I think these are so cool. I think they could be like, you could do something super like, I think these would work in like an upscale design, but something for fun in there.
I think with this.
Play with the colors. Oh yeah, that would be great.
A design interlude.
That would be design interlude. Mediterranean kind of with the sea blue and the fish. I think that would be super, and I think, like I said, I think you could upscale that really nicely. Put it with some, there's some gold. Put it with some like neon apatite or blue apatite if you wanted to use that. Beautiful.
Or silver. Yeah, this.
There's a look at that together with silver, and there's also like a pink in that metallic, so you could do it in the AB. I'm sorry, in the AB finish. So see how that changes it completely. Or you could use both the blue and the pink, and you get different things out of each one of those beads. Cheryl says, "Will there be more Day at the Beach boxes currently sold out?" Yes. Let's say that again because some people probably did miss it at the beginning. If you would like one, Andrew's going to try and make more. So send us an email to let us know that you would like another Day at the Beach box. So far, nobody sent us an email. But Andrew's going to see how many people send us an email and try and make some more boxes to see what we can do. But we do plan on releasing hopefully a few more.
If people want.
If people want. If nobody emails us, then he's not going to go through the trouble.
I didn't make very many to begin with.
No.
And there's even less now.
But we have had people say that they're interested. So if you are, send us an email and let us know you want a box, and we'll see what we can do. Because he was looking around today and he found a few more things that he could add to make a few more if we need to. Oh, just got an email for 1 box. Thank you. Let's see, GT4. How many of those did we have? 3 total. So we've got 1 of these ones left. GT4. I can't believe melons usually always sell out. I can't believe we have 1 of these left. GT4, the green and blue melons.
What was the last GT?
18.
So we're on 19.
You're on 19, yep. GT4, these melons. These are the small ones, about 6mm melons. $4 only, 1 strand left. GT5, none of those sold. Wow.
Which one?
The blue melons.
That always surprises me.
Mm-hmm. GT5, the blue melons. Currently still available, all 3 of them, $4 each. Oh, we just sold the last GT4. Thank you so much. GT5, 3 of these still available. Let's see, he's got one of these done. Let's jump to one of the new mixes, and then we'll go back to checking, recapping. All right, GT19. Look at this little orange or citrus slice in gold.
It's gold-plated bronze, I believe.
Yeah, gold-plated bronze.
And they're not coming to the U.S. anytime soon.
Yeah.
Because they live in Russia.
They live in Russia.
She's from the Ukraine, so don't get ideas.
Yeah. And so they're not able to come into the U.S. right now.
I mean, you can't even go to their website anymore.
Oh, really? So, yeah. And then you get this citrine, these citrine rounds. And these are 3.5mm citrine rounds. Oh, we just sold one of the GT5s. Thank you so much. The citrine rounds. These 2 things alone are well worth more than $22. And then you get the crystal strand, the large crystal strand. And these are faceted rounds at 7.5mm. GT19. Donna says, the surprise box I bought last year was incredible. I'm still using beads from that box. Yeah, our mystery boxes are good. Like, I know people buy from other places and they get that wah-wah feeling. I hope that doesn't happen when people get our boxes.
Somebody said they got that
one time. One time. But it was one person out of many at that point. We do talk them up quite a bit, I know. But we really...
You don't like... Sometimes the stuff I get, I put in those boxes, I like it. But if you don't like what I like, sometimes then you're going to be disappointed.
That's true. GT6. We didn't sell any GT6. That's a car, GT6. That's why that reminds me of something. Are these? I thought these would have no problem selling. Andrew and I both saw these and we're like, yes, we have to get those. Because they're such a pretty light green, like that jadey green with the metallic purple finish. Really? No takers on those. Those are 10mm. GT6. 3 of them still available, $7 each. Beautiful for spring, beautiful for Easter. When is Easter? Easter's coming up, isn't it? Soon. Yeah, it's in April. What's the date for Easter? GT6 is a great bead, says Michelle. I think so. I think they're really cool. Okay, GT7. How many did we have? We sold one of these. We have 2 of them still left. GT7. We have 2 of these still left. Yeah, we didn't get a full like 30 or 40 lots because we were talking about doing, like Andrew said, doing a Czech glass day almost every week, or at least every week or every other week.
It's getting less now.
Andrew's like, maybe we won't be doing that.
Maybe once a month.
Maybe once a month. We sold one GT6. Thank you so much. We have 2 of these GT7s. I think these are super pretty. And these are small little drops. And they're about 6 millimeters by about 7.5. Kimberly says, I think it's 420. Easter is 420 this year, says Susan. Yeah.
So people will get high.
High for Easter. Yeah, high for Easter. GT7, $7 a strand. 3 strands, no, 2 strands, sorry. 2 strands still available. GT7. I love this color. It's green, of course I love it, but really pretty. I bet that would be really pretty with like white pearls or a champagne pearl. Yeah, let's. So these are the pearls I used in my bracelet the other day during the Creative Make-Along. And I think they would be super pretty with that. Aren't those pretty? It plays off that kind of gold color. There's a little bit of gold reflection in those. GT7. Susan says we're having a sugar rush with all that chocolate, right? Easter chocolate.
I saw something on the internet about these slices of chocolate. Kind of look like American cheese slices, but in chocolate. And I saw it in Japan.
Huh.
And I kind of want it.
GT8, another one I'm highly surprised didn't sell any of, because these are a favorite of mine too, is the blue and purple drops. That's an awesome color combo. It's a blue glass with a purple fumed finish. Sometimes they look purple like that, and sometimes they look blue like that. It's really cool. And these ones are about 5.5 millimeters by 8. GT8. 3 strands available. Make sure I'm right. Yeah, GT8, 3 strands available. Blurple, says Kimberly. Yep, that's Blurple, and I love it. Kind of like Iolite, says Susan. Yeah. Yeah.
I love Blurple.
Who doesn't love Blurple?
I've never heard of somebody call it that. I'm into it.
I'm into it too.
I'm down to clown.
GT9. None of these have sold. These small coins, table cut coins.
What?
11 millimeters. GT9. None of them.
I don't know who I am anymore.
I know. Maybe we're not as good at picking things as we thought.
Yeah, I'm like, William, you're not
I'm not allowed to help anymore. GT9. Tiny coins. Tiny. They're not tiny, but they're great for earring size. 11 millimeter. Great for earring size. Great for bracelets. Super pretty. GT9. All 3 of them still available. $10. All right. Let's pause for a moment and show a mix. Whoop. This is GT20 coming up. GT20, $24. You get this vintage Czech glass, dimpled. I don't know what that looks like. Some kind of a plant or something. I don't know what it is.
It's vintage.
It's vintage. It kind of looks like plants and leaves. It's what you want it to be. But it is a vintage, probably an antique actually. Czech glass. it would be about 11.5 millimeters by about 18.5. And you get that strand. Then you get one of these, gold plating over bronze. And this is that citrus slice with 4 different points of connection to it. So it can be hung various ways if you just want to hang it. It also has a hole in the center if you want to use it as a button. Oh.
The leaning tower piece.
You do got a leaning tower over there. GT20, $24, and then you get this strand of blingy crystal. This beautiful orangey color, kind of like a red adventurine color, but with a metallic sparkle to it. So $24, GT20. Whoa, throwing things around. GT20. All right. Where were we at? We just sold one of the GT9s. Thank you so much. Those are the coins.
Isn't that also a car?
I don't know about that one.
Like that? Yeah.
No. GT10. We've sold 2 of these. We have one left. Only one left of these beautiful laser etched dragonflies in this spring green coin. This coin is a little bit bigger than the last one. The last one was 11. These are about 13.5. 13.5. GT10. 1 strand left. $7. Beautiful spring green dragonflies, laser etched. GT10. Let's see. And then GT11. We've sold 1, 2 of these. There's one of these left. I can't believe it. This is such a cool shape. Interesting shape. GT11. $5. It's almost like a paisley. Like it reminds me of a paisley in a paisley design. This is 10 millimeters by 14 approximately. Let me check that again. By 14.5. 10 by 14.5. Kimberly says these drops are very boho. Yeah, I bet Jen would love these. Jen, if you don't know, Jen Touchon was our, she taught in our store. She does a lot of wire wrapping. She did our Saturday morning tutorials for us for a while. We miss her a lot, and she was very boho. I bet she would have went mad for these. GT gives me a bandana feel. Yeah, because of the paisley, right? Like a paisley bandana. Definitely. GT11. One of those left. We've sold 2 of them. There's 1 remaining. GT12 sold out. Thank you so much. GT13. No takers on GT13. That's these red flowers. Maybe y'all got these already. Is that why? Y'all got the red flowers already? Red with the gold finish. I'm waiting for our red tulips to pop up. I love when the red tulips pop up. Give that really vibrant burst of color. That's what I think these do. They're such a good red. And transparent slightly. Wild rose beads are amazing, says Kimberly. Isn't that a good color? Beautiful color. GT13. Oh, and these are 13.5 millimeters. 13.5 millimeters. Still available. $7 each. Donna says, I have those red flowers, but mine are a little darker red. Yeah, that's what I like about these. They're like they're in between like a blue red and an orange red. They're like a good center red. GT14. GT14. We have all of these ones still available. You don't like the other flowers. These ones, you don't like these? These, if you have any of our gray pearls, from their vintage gray pearls, these would look beautiful with gray pearls too. GT14, $8 a strand. Little flowers, approximately 9.5 millimeters. 9.7 is what they're given. Yeah, about 9.5. Kimberly says, if you don't have any, get these. They would look so good with turquoise. The red ones? Yeah. I don't know about these. These would actually look pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. I kind of really like that together.
Charlie watching that?
I don't see Charlie.
You said turquoise.
I know. I was waiting to see. That finish is fantastic, says Kimberly, right?
The gold luster.
I don't know what kind of luster that is, but
Oh, that's AB.
I was going to say AB.
AB.
Look, Kimberly says, yes, both actually, right? Turquoise would go great with those, and they would go great with the reds. Look at that. With the red. I love red and turquoise. That, ooh, so nice. We've sold one of the 14s now. Thank you so much. Up to one on those. We have two of them still left. Like I said, with this, I wish I had some of the gray pearls here that we have in the shop. They would go beautifully with that. Is that the one we... I don't know. What other colors? What other colors would go? Look at them with pink. The rose quartz. Look at those colors. Wow. You put them with the pink. Look at all those other colors really pop. Stunning, stunning together. Add some of the turquoise color in there too. Very nice. GT14, $8. We've got 2 strands remaining of those. 2 strands remaining. That's a good way to use that rose quartz. Everybody's got rose quartz. Let's bring it back. Norma says they look great with rose quartz. It is great for heart healing. I should wear more rose quartz, right?
Wow, especially nowadays.
Especially nowadays. Yeah, see, they look...
We don't need a little bit of heart healing.
Right? Look at that. Beautiful. There's even some green in there. I'm interested to see what these do. I don't think this is the right green for them. No. We need like... But let's see here. About with this. Look at those colors. Those look good together too. But I think the rose quartz is the winner on those. All right, GT15, 1, 2, 3 of the 15 sold, and that's all we've got of those. 16 also sold. Thank you so much. 17, we've sold one of the 17s. One of the 17s, but we have 2 left. 2 left of these opalescent. Look at them with the pink, the rose quartz. They take on such a pretty pink color then. Let's see if we put them with some blue. They just like take on every color. I don't know. Let's keep trying. Let's try them with the green. Kimberly's asking, is that a copper wash? These are copper. Yes.
Good eye.
Good eye. Copper wash. Donna has to go. Have to be up early. Loved all the beautiful beads. Night all. Good night, Donna. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging out with us. And let's see. Peacock pearls that are a slightly coppery color. Look how pretty they are with those. Got to think about like all the different colors and materials, right? There's coppery pearls with the copper wash. How pretty those are. And let's pull out one of these strand of these lighter ones. Look at that. Super pretty. Kimberly says, oh my, the pearls. Right? Look how good they go with those.
Pearl party.
Pearl party. I know we've had some pearl parties before. We've got some good pearls, y'all. If you haven't checked out our online store, we have lots of beautiful pearls in the online store. Vintage, freshwater, sometimes even faceted, the high quality, nice ones. Don't let the prices fool you. Just because the prices are lower does not mean the quality is on those in our online store.
That could be said of all of our stuff.
That could be said of all of our stuff, yes. Like when prices go up, we don't go through our online store and just like up the prices of everything.
We should.
We should, but we don't. GT18. This is still available. This is the first kit.
One time somebody said, oh, they have these sales and they increase their prices just for the
Yeah,
sale.
somebody was trying to spread that rumor about us that we
Not
didn't.
just us, but like bead store or bead businesses in general.
Yeah.
But particularly us, and I was like, not to dispel your like insider knowledge, but you know how big of a pain in the ass that would be to go and individually change the prices on thousands of SKUs.
Yeah. And I'm not, you can upload prices by spreadsheet too, but that is the most dangerous thing to do, because if you mess that up, your whole thing is wiped out and messed up. One time when we very first started, we were using Square and we had our store inventory. And thankfully, I did a download of everything before I did it. But I uploaded to add prices to something. And I accidentally did it wrong, and I was uploading like 20 things, and I was just adding them into the database, and it wiped out everything but those 10 things. And that was a sad day. I panicked, but then I remembered I had the spreadsheet that I downloaded. Thankfully, I made a backup.
Or maybe somebody else is smarter than us, and they know how to.
Well, I finally figured it out, but I didn't do it in batches that, big enough that it merited it, so I still mainly add things one by one because.
Yeah, but we're not changing the price.
No, but I mean when I add new things, I still add them one at a time instead of batch uploading because it scared me so much.
You got the PTSD.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with that. Mary Jane's has to be up super early. Everything is so pretty. We'll rewatch tomorrow. So blessed night, everyone. You too, Mary Jane. Have a good night. Glad to see you again. Yeah, glad everything is okay. This is GT19, $22. With the citrine, the gold-plated bronze, which is actually very light for gold-plated bronze. It's a nice light piece. And then you get the large strand of the crystals, vintage crystals. GT19, $22.
We got some prices for y'all that I think one's gonna get loud about.
These ones, I was like, this was enough that these were 22 with these gold-plated bronze pieces. I was like, all right, but I get it. Now he's saying there's going to be more.
Don't worry about it.
Going to be more because this other one was only 24, and I know it's got this big piece. I think this was 24 by itself. Plus, you get this strand of really nice vintage, well, antique Czech glass. Where do you see that design? You see that design ever? I bet hardly ever. I think this is so nice, but I don't know. We still have it. We've still got it. And then you have the crystals, the mini crystals coming in at 3mm microfaceted crystal strand with that, like the platinum finish. GT20. All right, GT21. This is a new lot tonight, GT21. Whoa, $18. You're getting this stainless steel, I'm gonna call it meditation charm. And of course my fingerprints are on it just from putting it out of the bag. I'll try and wipe this down. My microfiber cloth. Stainless steel meditation charm, well, pendant. And then this looks like, is this dyed jade?
Dyed.
Thank you.
Dyed something.
I think it's a dyed jade. It looks like a dyed jade. Cherry color. It's like those cherry candies Andrew eats. Love them. And then this is 10mm. And then these beautiful vintage glass faceted rondelles. And these come in various sizes. This one is approximately 16mm. You get 4 of those, and then 2 of the smaller sizes. And they are they're vintage glass, so they're not perfect. 14mm approximately. And all that for $18. I love the color on these. They're such a nice aqua color. What?
I don't know. It seems like an energy just dropped.
Uh-oh.
Yeah? No?
I don't know. Did it?
Picking it up?
Did it? Anybody got energy? Y'all got the energy on.
That fire on.
Well,
In the Sleepy Hollow.
I do have to sometimes concentrate on picking stuff up for a second. I can't keep talking.
More energy.
You got to fill in sometimes with talking. I can't keep doing all the talking. Ridiculous. Oh, 2 of these? We've got 2. I know. These are cute. Wow. Okay. So you get this stainless steel lotus charm. Stainless steel lotus charm, and this is approximately 12 by 14mm. Then you get this little flower, pewter flower. Looks like pewter flower bead. That's cute. And then you get this whole strand. This is what he's talking about, because this whole strand is worth like $18, $20. Whole strand of vintage pearls.
Don't worry about it.
That's worth more than the entire kit. If I were selling that strand, that's like, I would do it at a good price at $18 for y'all. Look at the color in that. They're almost like a pastel-y color. Like there's some pinks in there.
I love that strand.
And there's 2 of them. These are.
If you buy it for the pearls.
If you bought it for the pearls, you're making out. That's 4.5mm pearls. That's a good deal for that strand because you're getting everything else too. And these vintage Czech crystals. Look at those with an AB finish. Kind of like a block crystal. faceted on top and bottom. And you get that whole strand. GT22. And these are approximately 7.8 millimeters by 5.5. Michelle says the silky smooth. The pearls are silky smooth. Look at that. Ooh, so pretty.
And that's that color. It's called silk.
Silk. It's got a variety of colors in there.
It's kind of like that pinky, kind of blushy, but kind of goldy.
Coppery. It's got it all. A little bit of almost blue in there. GT22. We've sold both of those multiple times.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so it makes me happy that people like it.
Michelle says, almost dinner time, fish sticks with veggies.
Okay.
I miss a fish stick. Oh, there's this place. I know. I should get some. Kimberly says, you got me on the pinky pearls. There's this place called Antonio's Pizzeria, apparently, in Pittsburgh. And it came up for me on Facebook. And they do a vegan fish fry every Monday. And their menu is half vegan and half regular. So we should probably go check it out sometime. Because it's hard to find. And their prices are not that bad. The prices didn't seem very high.
Because sometimes you grab the ones like, oh, it's Michelin star. Like, wow.
Yeah, we can't afford that.
There's like this castle outside of Pittsburgh that has this like delicious vegetarian food, but at minimum it's like $2.50 a person.
Yeah.
Well, not $2.50.
Kimberly says, I hope I got one. You did, Kimberly. You did get one. Look at this fun mix of bright colors. These are Vaseline glass over here. Look at them glowing in the black light. Those are bright. Those are like blindingly bright when they glow. This is GT23.
This is from Ava, some of it.
Look at that. That's like some of the brightest Vaseline glass I think we've had. That's, wow.
I'm trying to think what I put in that.
Hmm?
What is it, this line?
These grape leaves. They're grape bunches. Right. These little grape bunches. Kimberly says, oh, wow. Yeah, I've not seen, like we see Vaseline glass. That glows more than a lot of them do. So these are these little grapes clusters, and they're about 10.5 by 15.5 millimeters. Those are vintage Czech. And then this is a dyed stone of some sort. Maybe an agate.
We got it at the same time that we got all the, like the dyed jade and dyed.
Yeah, chalcedony.
And
this has a.
This from my friend in Raleigh, North Carolina, ornamentia.
Yeah, it kind of looks like an agate to me. It's got the, I don't know, but it's 4.2, about 4 millimeters by 13.5. And then you get these fun acrylic, vintage plastic, vintage acrylic bits. Like, look at those. Look how fun. You get a little bit of orangey in there. So you get these. These are 12 millimeters for those. Then you get these tubes. I bet this is the stuff from Ava. These are about 39 by 4. That's Ava. That alone, you know, just saying.
She got nice stuff.
She's got nice stuff. This is Andrew's letting us go cheap. 36.5 millimeters for those. And then you're also getting these glass beads, these green glass. Are these are White Heart.
Mm-hmm.
White Heart vintage seed beads. That's sort of vintage seed bead, right? Different sizes, never guaranteed. but white hearts, and 3.8, so about 4 millimeters approximately. And that one has sold. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's worth it for these little grape clusters alone, I think. Michelle said wow on those too. You know, right? Super fun. Dominion says, nice. I've only had vegan sea creature inspired food like once before. It was really good. They were crab cakes, by good catch. Yeah, this place has a fried fish. They do, because you know they do the fried fish things around here, and I miss them.
Fish fries.
The fish fries,
For
and
Lent.
for Lent, and I miss, even though I'm not, you know, Catholic, I don't do that, but I used to love a good fried fish sandwich, and they make the big ones around here. They put it on the big French bread.
Some of the fake fish is made of konjac, and I found out it's related to the corpse flower.
Oh.
It's the root of the corpse flower.
Oh, lovely.
And I was like, oh, huh, interesting.
But they also do crab cakes. They do pastrami's, or was it pastrami? Pepperoni, fake stuff. They do all this stuff, and they also sell it by the like a lunch meat counter.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I fear we should probably go look. Hello, Dominion, by the way.
If people buy enough, we'll go tomorrow.
Right, that'd be nice. What? Us do something outside of the town?
Just leave go.
Do something for a day?
You don't have to do it all day.
Go. Michelle says, oh, I so wanted that one, but we just can't right now. I get it. Dominion says, you're lucky to have a place like that. Well, it's an hour and a half away. Well, an hour away.
Yeah, there's stuff to do, though.
But, yeah, we're lucky that it's within reach. Susan says, my town has its own app just for fish fries. That's awesome. Look at this crystal eye pendant. Only $12 there, right there. Done. You'd pay $12 for that in a store? I bet. I don't know if those are, I don't think those are S word, but it's still a nice crystal eye.
Those ones probably are.
They are?
The pave set.
Okay, Andrew says they probably are.
I mean, not like expensive.
Yeah, but yeah. So you get that. You get
like
the vintage Czech. The vintage Czech. These are about 6.5 millimeters. More. Ooh, look at that crystal. Is this Czech crystal?
No, it's Chinese.
Is it Chinese? And it's 5.7 millimeters. And then this large strand of vintage Czech. And this is that pentagon shape. 5-sided. Look how big that strand is. And these are approximately 4 millimeters by 6. 4 by 6 millimeters. Nice green and blue together. That's a nice summer mix right there with, ward away that evil eye. GT24. Only $12 for the whole kit. Only $12 for all of it. This strand of vintage Czech would be $12. This pendant itself would be $12. These would probably be somewhere around $6 each. Should write down what the retails are and the deal you're all getting, right? You know. Y'all know. We don't have to tell you too much. Or GT25. Ooh, this has that goldstone. Who likes goldstone?
It's interesting.
Yeah.
The mix of
This is. Ooh. Look at this goldstone with the black in it. So this is more unusual for goldstone. And it's got the black in there. Goldstone is a human-made stone, and it's about 6.2 millimeters for this strand. It's a long strand too. And then you get this carved shell flower, dyed shell flower pendant, or leaf. What am I saying? Not flower, leaf. I was thinking of the flowers on these. Leaf pendant. And then an allegory gallery fine pewter soaring bird bead.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, Andrew loves this one. It shows up in a lot of kits.
And it probably shouldn't.
It shouldn't, because we're almost out of it. We're almost out of it. And then these are vintage plastic with an AB finish on these kind of sunflower beads. You get 2 different sizes here. So this is 10 millimeters, and the larger ones are 13. 10 by 13 millimeters. And then you get this beautiful strand of chalcedony. This strand of chalcedony alone would go for that $16 price. This is a gorgeous, I don't know where he got this out of, but
don't worry about it.
That one, that one I probably could have sold by itself in a live for the $16. So you're getting a dealio right there, about 6 millimeters faceted around on that vintage chalcedony strand. Look at it glow. This is a really pretty combination of colors. I like this kit a lot.
I tried hard.
GT25, 1 kit available, only $16. Oh, everyone hanging in there? What y'all doing? Just watching? Who's still here with us? Minion asks, how's it going, everyone? 5 GT26 coming up for y'all. Wow. Ooh, oh, is that Peter site?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Price to move.
We used to sell those, I think, $6 a bead.
That was a very expensive strand.
Wow. Kimberly's still here. Michelle's still here. Thank you all so much. So this is a really high-end, this was a high-end strand of petersite.
I kept one for myself. That's how come I can mark it down.
Because I think we were selling these for $4 to $6 a bead before. And it's like a black and brown. There's some of the blue, kind of like the light. But it's it came from a high-end strand of petersite. Look at the sparkle in that.
There you go.
You're adding more?
Yeah, might as well.
Oh my goodness.
It needs a friend.
It has friends.
Well, that one.
He just added this one to that, and added this one to that. Look at that. Ooh, that's got some of that blue in there. And then this one is in there. That was a luscious strand of petersite. And like I said, these were sold for $4 to $6 a bead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's now 8 of them in this $24 kit.
It's basically free.
Yeah, everything else is definitely basically free. You get this vintage plastic drop. It's a beautiful blue color, that light blue. Oh wait, there's another. So there's 9 of these.
Wait, there's more.
There's 9 of those petersite in there. Then you get this. Is this vintage Czech? This large vintage Czech. What do you call this? Is that a cathedral? Is that a lantern? What is that cut? Anybody know? It's a pretty cut. And it's a pretty, that gray blue again with the brown. Andrew did a good color combo here. Then you get this lampwork glass bead. I know some of you out there love the lampwork glass with that gray, blue, and gold in there. Window cut, says Kimberly. Window cut.
Sounds right.
Sounds right. I'll believe you. Then you get this heart, looks like a vintage metal heart charm pendant.
Old one.
Old one, Andrew says. Yeah, it's vintage or antique right there. And then you get this whole strand of really high quality tiger eye.
Yeah, that's not all the duds.
No, that's like the opposite of all the duds. They put the good stuff on this strand. Sold the duds for cheap. So that is a, let me get a measurement here for you, 8mm strand of rounds. And then you get this vintage Czech fire polished glass in the brown, has slightly a brown coppery finish to it. I think it actually is a copper finish. And you get that strand. These are about 4mm. You get that whole thing, $24, and it has sold out multiple times. Thank you so much. Andrew, can you make another one of those? Nope, not with all that Petersite in there.
Nope.
Kimberly says, this is an amazing kit. Yes, it is. I'm just telling y'all, that is well worth $24. That's probably like a $56. Well, this alone, these are almost like $40 to $60 right there. $40 to $60 by the bead. So there you go. Kimberly said I knew it was going to go super fast. It took some time, but it went multiple times. Charlie's here. This is fun. I know. This is finally I can watch. I was cleaning and cooking and couldn't even say hi. Even when we were talking about you, Charlie. No, we weren't. We were just saying Charlie's here. Is she? Is she really? Or is she not? Now she is. Michelle says that was a long strand for Czech glass. Yes, it was. That fire polished? That's the old fire polished Czech. Normally strands now are about half that size. Look at this one. Ooh, ooh, ooh. What a good... I know. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. He's accusing me of copying him all the time. I know. Look at this. I know it's dyed, but this is so pretty. It looks like a dyed quartz. And it is lovely.
How much should we sell these for?
I think they're on the online store. Let me look. That's, what is that called? Nevada Rose. One moment, everybody. They're in the online store, $36 per strand.
I won't be adding that.
You could do one good one.
Like a really expensive kit.
Or a really good price. GT27. Okay, so there's those dyed quartz. They're about 8.5mm. Then another one of these long, nice long. Oh, this is a crystal strand, not Czech glass. Nice long crystal faceted rounds. Oh, 27 is already sold, by the way. So I'm just going to review what's in it for the person who got this one. Thank you so much. 4.5mm. Then you have these. Look at those. Those look like S-word crystal. Let me get the light shining down on them. Look at those. Those are super cool. They're already capped. They're set in these beads. I've never seen these. I don't know where these even came from.
Don't worry about it.
You get 6 of those. How cool are those?
You know, I have paint all over myself.
Do you?
Yep.
12
I
millimeter.
just looked down and there's paint all over my...
Over your pants? You were painting all night.
Correct.
And then you got these as well. These little leafy characters here. So you get that. So thank you so much. That one has sold.
All right.
That's a pretty kit. Somebody like the purples and the blues? I'll like that one. Rochelle has never seen those either. Yeah, I don't know where these came from.
Don't worry about it. Got my secrets.
Yes, you do. What is the hook on the leaf? Asked Kimberly.
Huh?
What's the hook for in that leaf?
It's a clasp.
That's why. It's not separate. They're a clasp? It is a clasp. Sorry, I missed that. Even better.
Mm-hmm. Where are you going to find that?
Even better.
AG.
I thought AG?
AG?
For $14 for all that?
You already sold it. Keep going.
I know. I'm just astonished at these prices. Total score on that, says Kimberly. Yep. Scored on that. All right. GT28. Look at these. Look at that. So this is the Chalcedony. Brown Chalcedony.
Even got the tassels.
It's even got the tassels.
If you're new, you won't get that joke.
Look at these fun beads in between. They've got glitter on these spacer beads. How fun is that? But so they added tassels and glitter.
Let me see that again.
Isn't that fun?
They did add glitter. They really went all out.
They went all out on that strand.
I taught this workshop kind of thing in Tucson once, and so I took people around to the different shows and introduced them to different vendors, and we went to this one booth, and somebody said, I'm not going to say who it was, they said, I only buy strands with tassels. And we just laughed and laughed and laughed. And it was because the idea behind the tassels is that it's easier to see if somebody's stealing it. So in theory,
yeah, that's harder to pocket.
You see this like flashing thing,
yeah,
and to make it look fancy. But the vendor, he's like, I can put a tassel on anything. I literally can put a tassel on anything.
Yeah, because people think that the tassels mean that it's high end, and they did. I mean, a lot of times in the older times, but also they would only waste the time putting tassels on things that they wanted to make sure weren't stolen
and that were more high end.
And that were high end, but
also there was another vendor, and she was brilliant. She's one of the people that I admire greatly as a businesswoman, and she had a whole system. And if you knew what the system was, you knew how much everything costs, because she had the tassels that indicated prices. But she didn't like announce it.
Yeah.
So she had like the secret code, and I thought it was awesome.
Kimberly says that's a cool ocean jasper coin, right? And that's drilled this way, top to bottom.
That's a expensive bead.
Yeah, that is an expensive coin. $35. That would be, or $35. 35 millimeters. That would be an expensive pendant right there. And then you get the Lucerna bicone strand and the fire polished check glass and an allegory gallery, fine pewter, and antique gold toggle. And all for $18. That's worth $18. This is probably more than $18. So there you go. GT28. Good kit there.
I found some nice things for y'all.
Yeah, that one would go really well though with It could go really well if you got 26. That one. Blend it in. I think it could also go really, really well with 25, which I think is still available. GT25 with that goldstone and that other chalcedony and the vintage plastic there. That would go really well with that too. So for $16 and $18, you could get two sets that would really work well together. Fabulous set, says Kimberly, and also love those tassels, says Anna. All right, GT29.
These are a little bigger.
These are bigger kits. Price goes up a little bit, but these are really well stocked.
I kind of want to do something fun. So
Look,
make it bigger.
Look at these. $32. Get this, looks like onyx. Beautiful faceted rounds in onyx. Big ones. These are about 10 millimeter. Yeah, 9.5. They were probably 10 millimeter rounds before faceting. And that's a nice long strand. I think that's a 16-inch strand of that. I have my ruler out here. Let's see. Yep, that's a 16-inch strand of the onyx. And then look at these.
That's a mix. So there's chrysocolla.
Chrysocolla is the dark, right?
Very nice one.
Yeah, this is high-end chrysocolla.
And then there's some aventurine, I think. Or jade, I can't remember. Something.
You're mainly, yeah, you're mainly looking at that high-end chrysocolla right there. Look at that deep kind of tealy color in that. Get that. And then as Kimberly says, oh wow, look at the Kambaba. This is the
stones.
Yes, she does. This is the Kambaba jasper. This is high-end vintage quality too. Look at the patterning in these. Look at the color variation.
Here, I'll make it even juicier.
What? He's throwing in an Allegory Gallery swirl toggle in antique copper. So then you're getting this one. Beautiful patterns, beautiful color. And then this one. Stunning. And these are approximately 30 by 40. These are 30 by 40. Pendants each. Each one could be a pendant. And then this, is this onyx or sardonyx?
Yeah,
there's a little bit.
That one little spot.
One little spot lets you know it's a sardonyx strand.
So basically like a black agate. But that one has a little bit of brown and a little bit of blue.
A little bit of the white.
Big strand.
Big strand.
That strand alone is probably worth the price of admission.
Yep. That strand's probably a 32.
Actually,
it's a 16-inch strand.
Chrysocolla. That's the winner.
This one is definitely worth the $32. That by itself. Kimberly says, I can usually tell the stones with banding and markings, but it's harder with onyx, obsidian, and finished black stones. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
And then you get that as well as a bonus. So $32, GT29. Oh, Charlie says, I'm here now and debating baking cookies.
You make good cookies.
Yes. Make some extras. Send them this way. These are really nice Kambaba jasper. Oh.
I dropped the price for this one was for $8 a piece before.
I believe it. That was low.
Yeah.
For a pendant.
All right.
All right.
This one's a little bit spendy.
$46.
It's a big one.
It's a big one.
So this from Ava.
Ava Motherwell.
My friend.
This is the Italian
Poly some.
Italian poly. I think it says polyester on the tags, but I don't know if that's quite a guess. But it's usually
Vintage plastic.
vintage plastic Italian. So you get those. Then you
Those are
get
from Ava. Oh.
then you get these from our friend Ava. The purple vintage plastic.
That's fun.
Those are super fun. Those are juicy and bubbly inside, which I kind of really like. So you get those. And then, wow, you get this whole strand of these flowers.
Vintage plastic.
Vintage plastic.
They're actually kind of a resin.
They're resin.
Mm-hmm.
But those are super cool. Where are you going to find that? Something like that again?
I got that in California and Bay Area.
That'd be cool with some pearls and turn into a bracelet, one of them, for a focal.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be cool with some pearls.
A watch.
Kimberly said those rounds sounded like glass.
They're plastic.
They're definitely plastic, but yeah, they do have a good sound, right? And then you get these. These are from Ava too, right?
Mm-hmm.
These long drops. Lena says, love those. The flowers, the big beads. The purple flowers are fabulous, says Kimberly. Then you get these long drops. So I should do sizes on everything for you. These are long. These are 60 millimeters, about 60 and a half by 12. These ones are approximately 15.3 by 15.3. These ones are 15.6, about 15 and a half. She says, oh, I believe you. No, I know what you're saying, though. They do have a good sound.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's hard to tell.
These are about 29 and a half by 27 and a half. And then you get these fun vintage plastic coins.
Here, I'll throw this in since I threw the other
Oh,
one.
he's throwing in
But in gold.
a gold swirl toggle from the Allegory Gallery Fine Pewter collection. And then you're getting these coins, these shampoo vintage plastic coins, about 20 millimeters by about 4.5. And then you get this
Vintage plastic.
vintage, is it plastic or is it glass?
Plastic.
Is it? Feels like glass. So it's vintage plastic. And these are rounds in this kind of blue purple color, 6.3. And then this big one.
Nevada Rose.
This is the Nevada Rose.
Or purple dumortierite.
Purple dumortierite faceted coins.
They named it something else. There's another name.
This is the one we were checking on. We sell this for $36 in the online store just for that strand. So $36 plus all this stuff from Ava, plus the vintage plastics, plus the vintage Czech glass rounded cubes that are at 5.5 millimeters. And then the purple dumortierite or Nevada Rose faceted coins.
I like Nevada Rose. That sounds fancier.
These are about 10 millimeter coins.
Or lavender dumortierite. Or lilac dumortierite is one that
I like that.
I don't really like the word dumortierite.
I love the word dumortierite. Dumortierite. Let's see. Charlie says I'm making mud hen bars. It's like a chocolate chip cookie with marshmallows and a meringue on top.
Huh?
If they come out good, I'll make them when I visit.
Okay.
All right. I'm not going to say no to that.
Sounds good.
So this is GT30. One still available. $46. It's a more expensive one. Yes, there's only one.
And never again.
Nope. If this does not sell,
we'll break it up.
And yeah, we'll break it up. Because these could sell for probably $8 for the pair at least.
I can't remember, but they're not.
They're not inexpensive. These, that's at least $6, probably right there.
You thinking our prices?
I am thinking our prices. That's our prices. That's not if we got them. Look at that. Beautiful.
All right. You want to do a prize real quick?
Let's do a prize real quick.
How about...
Dominion says, have anyone made beaded eyeglass holders or necklaces? Yeah, we make them all the time in the store with people. Well, we used to.
Our friend Allison used to teach us a class.
Yep, she used to teach us a class. The eyeglass...
and they had mask holders too.
Yeah, we did the mask holders. All right. Put this back in here. You just string them up like you would other necklaces and stuff, and then you use the little eyeglass holder ends. We have those in the shop if anybody needs them. Here's the prize.
One of them.
One of them, a giveaway.
We talked about the Wheel of Time earlier. Who wrote the Wheel of Time?
Who wrote
originally?
Who was the original author of the Wheel of Time series?
This author died, and somebody else had to take over.
Mm-hmm. First person to say it in the comments gets that prize. You do have to have something going out from us or have ordered tonight. If you want this.
S-word.
It is S-word. S-word crystal packet. See? Cheryl says Robert Jordan.
Correct.
That is correct. Cheryl gets this one. Write Cheryl's name on it. Put it in a baggie. Oh, Charlie said it too.
Who took over?
Huh?
Who took over on the Wheel of Time?
For this, to win these, who took over writing the Wheel of Time?
They also wrote the book Mistborn. Not Mistborn, but Mist.
Mistborn. Charlie says, I love games, LOL. Okay, who took over the Wheel of Time and wrote Mistborn? Kimberly says, Brandon Sanderson.
Correct.
Correct. Kimberly gets these ones.
Kimberly Hayes.
Mm-hmm.
I got these two more.
Okay. These are pretty. Look at these. Those are pretty too. What's the next question?
What else did we talk about tonight?
We talked about book club. We talked about, I don't know what we did. We talked about TikTok and social media.
Who plays Craven?
Oh boy. Even I don't know that answer. And I just watched it. Who plays Craven?
The main guy.
In the movie Craven.
By Craven.
By Marvel.
By Sony.
By Sony in association with Marvel.
The main lead.
The main lead.
He's also in this movie called Kick-Ass. And they had that little girl in it, and she's sassy. And I laughed.
Did I watch that?
Of superhero movies, I thought it was pretty good.
I don't remember that. Anybody's
he played
guess?
This dorky kid, and then he started working out.
Remember, you can win more than once too, so don't hold back.
And then I saw his ding-a-ling in that movie, The Million Pieces.
Oh.
And then I was like, oh my word.
Oh.
That's not fake.
Aaron Taylor.
Correct.
Kimberly got it.
I did here, but you have a little collection.
Got a collection of those.
What else?
Michelle says there's a movie called Craven with a K.
Mm-hmm.
Craven with a K.
Yeah, Craven usually means cowardly with a C. All right. Good.
That's it. All right. That's good. That's a good night. Thank you so much. Cheryl says, nah, one is enough. You can keep going, Cheryl. You're allowed. Let me flip the camera. I'll say quick
Charlie
goodbye.
says, LO.
LOL, I'd be happy just guessing for fun. She got them all. She was just later than everybody on all of them. Got them all right, though.
You're good at the trivia.
I know, right? Unless you're looking things up.
I'm not good at the trivia.
You're looking things
I'm
up on
too
the Google.
slow. But
It takes him a while to think of things.
I can Google
He knows a
some.
lot, but it takes him a while to think of them.
Sometimes
Me, if
the
I
next
know it,
day.
I can usually come up with it, but I don't know a lot. So
For
there's
trivia?
that. Yeah, I'm not good at trivia. I'm not a
Sometimes
trivia
I don't
person.
know if I'm making stuff up. Like I was like, did I make that up?
Did I make it up? Do I actually know it?
Is that a real thing? Did they really dye that stuff with them bugs?
Did they do that?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, they did. All right, y'all. Thank you so much.
We could have a trivia night.
Have a trivia night.
We'll have to come up with the questions first.
Yes, not on the spot.
Uh,
All right.
Maybe what we'll do is this, because I think if we have like prizes for individual prizes, it's going to be like kind of cumbersome. So maybe what we'll do is we'll have like you get points for every right answer, and we'll have like a scorecard. And then you can like use your points to like buy one of the prizes. You know how like they do at the Carney time where you turn in the tickets?
That'd be fun.
And then whoever gets the prize first, that way it's like fun.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll roll a dice or something. Let somebody pick.
Oh boy. Kimberly says, oh, that would be fun. Kimberly also said, I have teenagers and daughters that share lots of things. And Lena says, recognition versus recall, different kind of memory.
What is my memory?
What is your memory?
Going away.
Going away. Used to be perfect recall.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm happier now. So
right.
I was like,
let it go.
I know.
Let it go.
Unintentionally.
Charlie says, trivia night. Woo.
Maybe
we'll do it.
Does that sound like something people would like?
Y'all like a trivia night?
So you got extra of these purple ones.
Of what ones? Yeah.
I thought you said you didn't have any more.
No, I had lots of those. I just didn't know where to use them and how to use them. I was having a problem figuring out using them. No, I was figuring out how to use them in with everything. Like, Kimberly says, oh, absolutely. Michelle says, I don't remember anything.
Wow.
Well, so far, Kimberly and Charlie look up for trivia night. How about anybody else? Anybody else think a trivia night would be fun?
Maybe. Tomorrow's gemstone night.
So we're doing it tomorrow. New gemstones tomorrow night.
Harry is Wednesday.
Harry's going to be
No, Thursday.
Harry is Thursday. I'll start making the StreamYard banners.
And then Wednesday, I don't know what we're doing. What do y'all want to do on Wednesday? More mixed slots? That's kind of hard.
It's hard by yourself.
Yeah. But I don't know. I could maybe find. We could do like a. I don't know.
How many gemstones did we get? Are we going to be able to do it all in one night?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm going to try. We'll try to.
Because I was going to say it could span over 2 nights. And you could do Tuesday and Wednesday.
Maybe, but probably not.
Okay. Wednesday, Michelle says, make something, Andrew.
Yeah, but we have to sell stuff.
We still have to sell something. Charlie says, I have Dungeons and Dragons tomorrow, sad face.
Just cancel it.
Just cancel it. Charlie says, I love games, but need faster internet to reply. Haha. Luckily, our internet here is pretty fast.
Just come in person.
Come in person for trivia night?
We'll have it can be what you call it, live action trivia.
Hybrid.
People could bet.
What? It's getting wild for trivia night now. But that would be something totally different that nobody else does.
Who would be your victor?
Who would be
like the Hunger Games?
Who is your victor?
The other person gets to slap the other person. I watched a movie like that.
Lennis is asking, when will you have the floral enamels signed?
What am I doing?
Those, is that like the New Day enamels, I think? The New
Which
Day?
one?
I think the ones you made like New Day. I think that's the one she's talking about.
Oh, the pendants?
Yeah, the enamels you showed but never signed.
I don't know.
And the ones that are
the prong set
and the ones that were with it. He doesn't know. I've been asking too, Glennis.
The other thing is, I was thinking
I said,
about
are we having an
making
enamel night? Are we going to sell those ever?
I
People
was
seemed
thinking
interested.
about selling that as finished jewelry because we've been talking about because it's not to compete with folks because these would be kind of individually made into like our own kind of stuff. So, but anyways, it's kind of like I was thinking about different ways that we could generate extra income. And I used to make a tidy sum with not like a lot,
Oh, but you
but
made with your jewelry.
yeah. And I used to have a job cleaning up puke and cleaning glasses as a
Yes, you
bar
did.
back.
Yes, you
And
did.
I got to quit that job because I started selling earrings. I had 3 jobs at one point. And well, I worked my way through school, and one of them was as a bar back at this Irish bar in the Lower East Side.
That sounds like a lot of puke.
And it was always, every single night. And
Charlie says, I wish I could. I'm down for bead poker trivia.
I don't know how to play poker. And my face doesn't work like that.
No.
If I got like a good hand, I would instantly ruin it.
Or a bad hand. That would
I know.
certainly instantly. See the face he just made.
No, but so we talked about doing a line of jewelry, and I was thinking about using the enamel because it's kind of like my thing, right? So it's like my 2D work with my jewelry work all combined into one. But then I also have to make all of it, so
the pendants may just be sold at some point.
maybe I'll just have to sit on it until I'm like, oh, get rid of this. I still need to make up some money to buy some copper. I made a series of collages, and we only sold 3 of them, so that's not enough to buy the copper. Because the copper is about $300 to buy.
That's not enough. You didn't make that yet.
No, I made like 30 times 3, $90.
$90. You made like less than a third of it.
And it's already spent. So
yeah.
So I need to make some more paintings.
Kimberly says, happy or sad, my face doesn't really change. So you're good at poker.
That's good as like a tax person, so that people are not like horrified.
What about Pepito?
I don't know
Charlie.
how to do that. Is that like a pepper?
What is that? What's Pepito?
Pepito peppers? Is that one of your things where you like slap yourself? She's telling us these stories about how she like eats these like these wild combinations of food and like slaps herself to stay away. I said I would just pull over at that point.
Is that some kind of game? Pepito? Filipino poker.
I don't know how to do that.
No, I don't know that.
I don't know. Generally speaking, if you play Filipino games, somebody's going to get hurt.
Michelle says, I was taught Texas Hold'em by a world champion when I was a teenager.
Wow.
So you're good at it, or did you lose the talent?
I know. Some of those things you have to practice.
Kimberly says, yes, I have to keep my face neutral.
I can't.
I'm not good at that.
It's my eyes. That's the thing that always tells it.
And your mouth.
Yeah,
you
that
frown.
also. Even when I try to fake smile, it looks like I'm frowning. So like all of my prom pictures, I fake smiled, and all of my prom pictures, it looks like I'm so pissed off. And like I had to practice smiling because I don't smile. Like my face goes inverse. So it looks like I'm mad at somebody. So I had to practice how to smile so it doesn't look like I'm about to chew somebody out.
Michelle says, I was very good. Haven't played in a while, though. Charlie says, Mom didn't want me sleeping on the side of the road, so I got to keep going. Haha.
Oh, well, that's good. But you know what? The Taninkling, that's another Filipino game.
Tell me
and
about that.
They had this, for some reason, we played this in elementary school at the whitest school in
You're trying to be
Winter
inclusive
Park.
down there?
I don't know, but they basically have these 2x4s, and then they're
You dance between them.
you basically like hopscotch. But if
Oh,
you get caught, they slam them
slam.
boards on your ankles.
Your ankles get caught by the 2x4.
Correct. It's probably not 2x4s, but in my mind they were 2x4.
Yeah.
And they'd go faster and faster, and they would wheel out this record player. This is the time, like, this record player was like the old record player, and they'd make a square dance and play Tinkling,
Oh,
and they
boy.
would play this record that was like la 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 la, and then they had this ball, this giant ball that they would inflate, and you would have to hold on for dear life while these kids is trying to throw it in the air.
Oh, boy.
And they also did we played this game called Red Rover, and you would wear these flags, and they, instead of pulling the flags, some of them bratty kids, they'd hit people with the flags, and it was like getting like a whip.
When
They
we
had like a
played
belt.
when we played Red Rover, everybody chained up their arms, and you had to run and try and bust through the chain.
We did that too, but we didn't call that.
I think that's
Red
what we
Rover,
call
Red Rover,
let
send blah 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 over.
and you had to break the chain.
Well, they would
That's
have
what we
it so
did.
they would run out, and then you have to like get through.
Well, Lennis has dental surgery in the morning. Night, everyone. Good night, Lennis.
You probably
Good
don't want
luck.
to hear about them Central Florida stories of the torturing of the children.
Kimberly says, my son actually has nerve damage from one of his surgeries, so his smile is kind of frown-like.
Well, that's what they call a crooked smile in them sexy time books.
Oh, is that what it is? Got a crooked smile?
The crooked smile. And then they
Is that one up, one down?
This,
I can't do that.
they call it, yeah, you do that. And they do, he does do that. You do, William. Don't practice it.
Don't practice it.
And then they had, what's that one? We had to do the electric slide. They said this is the most important thing you'll ever learn in this class.
The electric slide.
And they did, we had tetherball. And if you weren't careful, you get knocked in the head with that tetherball. And sometimes if you weren't careful, I want to say that it could wrap around your throat.
Mm.
And then we also had this thing where, and it's in the Florida, and this was a light pole that would heat up in the sun, and you'd have to climb the light pole, and it was pretty high. You had to climb the light pole, and then there was a bell at the top, and you'd ring the bell. And the first time I couldn't do it. I couldn't climb this light pole, and so I used to go there after school, and I would break into the school and practice. And they had these monkey bars that were on chains, so you'd really swing, but they were made of metal, so they rusted, and so they were all like blistered with rust, so you would get like the tetanus basically. But sometimes they'd put like a thin coat of paint over to protect the children's hands.
Kimberly says he's good now. He's 16. We'll have another jaw surgery in a couple years. So I'm hoping they can correct that then.
I don't know how they would.
Hopefully, Lennis, your surgery goes well.
Mm-hmm.
Keep us posted when you can.
Yeah, let us know.
Charlie says we weren't allowed to play Red Rover. And that light pole challenge is crazy. Mulan style climb to the top.
They also did this thing. We had this thing called the arm breaker. And this was for the little kids. This is not for the grown-up kids. Because there was like, the half of the school was for like the little kids in the elementary. And then the other playground was for like the older kids. And by older, I mean like 10-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And they had this thing that was like a merry-go-round, and you'd try to get it as fast as possible. You could always tell when somebody got hurt, because they called it the arm breaker, because there's all these kids with casts on, because they'd get their arms stuck, or and they had these big...
You don't do that these days.
They had this big, like a dome that was all made of metal, and it was like... not cutouts, but it was like this big dome of metal, and then you'd have to like who could who could stay at the top of the dome.
Oh, we had that dome. It was like triangles when it was made, but we didn't play who could stay at the top. We
And
just had fun playing on it.
So people would try to like grab from underneath and pull you down.
Yeah, we had one of those spinny things too with the bars.
The arm pusher.
Mm-hmm. And then we just did normal things, I think, in gym's class. Like we had kickball.
We had that too.
And we had the parachute. And you play the parachute.
With the one where you get in the middle of it and then they throw you up in the air?
No, I think we had a ball in it. And you had to try and get the ball through the middle of the hole. There was a hole in the middle of the parachute.
We had one, it was like a sheet basically.
And then
you get in the middle of the sheet and then they try to throw you up into the air.
Oh, we didn't throw people up. Susan says it's a lawsuit waiting to happen nowadays.
My gosh, nowadays, back in the day, they're like, well, that's your own fault. You should. Like, it was in Florida too, so it's hot.
Yeah.
So there's always somebody puking.
And we had
they would have somebody do a count of how, when you're at the water fountain, so that you'd like make a line and then they make you drink the water. So you don't get dehydrated, but they also had somebody counting so you didn't drink too much water because then you throw up. And if you got hurt, they always put an ice pack on the back of your neck. No matter what.
Right. Yeah, to cool you down.
You fall down that metal slide and get sliced up, you still got ice pack on the back of your neck.
We also we had those little wheelie boards and we played kickball with what do they call that? Crab soccer.
I don't know what that is.
It was a little piece of plywood that had wheels on the bottom, and you'd sit and you'd roll around with your hands, and you couldn't get up. So you were like a crab, and then you could play soccer with it or kickball, and everybody would get their hands run over by the wheels.
This sounds familiar, but I don't.
Yeah.
We also did this thing where they would make you like lay on the ground, and then somebody had to get on top of you. And so you know how awkward kids are. And then they make you, somebody would hold your feet and you'd hold their feet and then you try to roll in.
Oh, roll like a.
They called that Eskimo something.
We did not do that.
Eskimo roll. And then like when it would like rain, because it was raining, they had like this indoor like competition. Like it was basically like Gladiator for children. And they had the teacher, Mr. something. He had this stick that was like a baton, and it was padded at the end, and he could knock the kids off the obstacle course.
Charlie says we had scooters for soccer too, but there were handles, so we just used our feet to push ourselves. Ours didn't have handles, so you had to use your hands and feet to push and pull yourself around. But your hands couldn't touch the ball. The hands were only the goalie could use their hands, but no one else could, and you could only kick it. I guess that's like soccer. You're not supposed to use your hands.
They had indoor soccer in high school. Was it high school or middle school?
We didn't have soccer at all.
They had indoor soccer.
We had indoor hockey.
We didn't have that.
We had indoor hockey in the small gymnasium.
And some of those kids, they were like not pro athlete, but they were like they were like being reared up for that kind of business. And so they had like all the other kids, and sometimes they'd get in trouble because they'd kick the ball really hard at the wall, and then it would hit the kids, and then they were like, "Well, I didn't hit the kid," and so you had to like watch out because they would like it hurt.
Yeah,
that'd take your.
Michelle says gymnastics inside when it rained. We didn't have gymnastics either.
We had tumbling.
We had jumping, like long jump and that kind of thing.
That's the other thing. We had these long ropes for jump rope, and they were beaded.
We did have jump rope too. Yeah, they had the long plastic beads on them.
And if you got slapped in the face with that, it left a mark.
You could hear clunk, clunk, clunk. You can still hear that
rattling. For us, it's rattling.
Charlie says, I'm very curious if your school is still the same now.
No, I doubt it. It's not even the same. It's not even the same.
I don't know what they do at our school.
They tore all that stuff down and rebuilt it.
Should ask niece and nephew what they do in school for gym.
I mean, your niece and nephew are sporty,
Yeah,
so
they're sporty. They like all that stuff. I was not. And you still got put in with all the people who did like that when you're playing all these things. We had volleyball in high school. Middle school and high school was indoor, was volleyball and hockey for the boys only. And
that's not fair.
nope. And I always wanted to go with the girls because they were like playing volleyball and they were doing running in the gym. And we had to play hockey with all the people who played football and baseball and everything else. Yeah, that's our gym was walking the track, flag football outside.
For that older or for younger?
That was older. Middle school and high school, flag football.
I took an aerobics class because it was the only thing that fit my
did not
schedule.
have that.
And I was the only boy in the class, and they made me change in the girls' locker room. There was this other kid that
That's so
also
weird.
got into it, and he cried so hard. And this is like a senior in high school. And he is crying because he couldn't get out of the class, and he didn't want to be the only boy and me in the class. And he was like, I already get picked on. I don't need to be picked on more. I was like, it was me and Hayden basically talking shit all day. And I would run the track because you could like sit on the bleachers because it was not like a hard aerobics class.
Okay.
And
we were lucky. We had the choice generally to play flag football or run the track. And we could, because usually when it was, again, the boys played flag football and the girls ran the track. But me and some of my friends, we were like, can we just run the track too? And it wasn't running the track. It was literally walking the track. You just walked around in a circle the whole gym class. I'm like, I will do this instead of playing flag football where they don't actually play flag football.
It's like tackle.
Charlie says, I just bought one of those beaded jump ropes. It still hurts.
Well, don't hit yourself.
I know, right?
I thought there was this person on the Instagram and they're talking about like the benefits of jump rope. And so I was like, oh, well, I'll try this. And so I borrowed a jump rope from one of the children and I tried it and I thought I was about to have a heart attack.
When I was in New York, before I met you, I had a personal trainer in the gym and at Crunch. And she was teaching me kickboxing because she taught kickboxing and that's what my training was for. And she was ex-military. And she would make me jump rope. And I could do everything except the jump rope. Like, I don't know why I could not get coordinated with the jump rope. It was so hard. I was in my probably 25, 26 then. And it made me feel so dumb every time. Because
keep the coordination.
Yeah, where I was getting trained was like right where everyone walked into the gym.
Perfect.
So walking out and walking in, and I'm sitting there every time hitting my feet, could not jump over that jump rope.
It's probably you don't have a lot big enough one.
I don't know. It was whatever was there. And I just could not get it. And finally I started getting it every once in a while. And I'd be like, oh, thank goodness. But I think because I was in my head so much about looking stupid about everybody walking in and out, and then I couldn't do it.
Ours, they did it. There were, I think, 2 black girls in my elementary school, and you had to become friends with them. Or maybe there was like 3 or 4. And you had to become friends with them because they would do the jump rope, and they were like expert at jump roping. And so if you did not, her name was Heather Haynes, and if you were not friends with Heather, you get clapped in the face with the jump rope.
So you made friends?
Of course. Me and the other brown people.
All right, everyone. Numbers are going down. We're just reminiscing. I know. We're just chatting away. No one else is talking. Y'all can talk about your gym class. Charlie is, yeah. Michelle did a little bit. But Susan pitched in. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm going to go do the spreadsheets now while Andrew gets some dinner ready. Maybe. And we'll see you back here tomorrow with Gemstones.
See ya.
Have a great night, everybody. Bye now.